Alright, guys. We are here today. Good morning. Alright, so jobless claims, unemployment numbers dropped today. They are expected. Jobless claims are expected at 215K. What happened? Hey, the $2,000 milestone. Hey, congrats, bro. That's great, dude. Nice frostbite. Congrats, dude. That's great. Missed that bull bear poll. No, we're gonna do one. Let me see. What do you have? Do you do crypto? Yeah, we do it a little bit. We have a crypto show, crypto channel. It's called Beginner Crypto. Alright, we're up. Let me drink some coffee. Whew. Alright. We're awake. So I gotta drink some coffee in the morning, man. I get up, my wife has the house freaking cold. Like, it's cold when I wake up, man. All right. You know, a lot of people uh hmm. Yeah, so I'm looking at markets right now. All right, markets are mostly flat. Tesla down again here, Chad. So Tesla is down again. And this is with their news coming up on Tuesday. We also have Comerica earnings released this morning. Comerica came out 98-cent EPS, 112 expected. We're going to put all their data up here for Comerica. But Comerica, which is symbol CMA, is down. Here's Comerica's numbers right here. It's Beginner Crypto. It's youtube.com/Beginner Crypto. Do I want to know? So go sub to that, bro. Appreciate it. Any news coming out today? Anything that will make the market go crazy? Jobless claims unemployment filings coming out at 8:30. It's probably the biggest report of this week, really. In a pretty slow week. It really is like a slow, boring, neutral, nothing going on week. But yeah, we got some stuff. It's not like it. Again, jobless claims are going to be something. Must admit, this is the most legit live trading channel ever. Fast news and no BS. Hey, thanks, man. Hey, thanks, Pawn. Appreciate it. What's up, Snow? All right. All right, we're at 152.60s on Tesla, 152.60s. Nvidia at 847.20s right now. Yeah, Nvidia down to 850. Tesla looking really, really weak. It's got to have some news related to this, right? I'm looking at Comerica earnings recently dropped. Morgan Stanley sees U.S. dollar dominance as reserve currency to endure despite challenges. I'm looking at Tesla news. This dropped this morning. Chinese EV makers are reportedly chasing state incentives, even though they are less beneficial than federal ones, according to Reuters, citing sources. Additionally, Mexican officials are reporting pausing any future China automaker meetings. There was a big earthquake hit Volcano Islands in the Japan region, according to GFZ, magnitude 5.5. Elevance Health dropped their earnings. Alaska Air Group dropped their earnings. All right, so Tesla is going to lay off 285 workers in Buffalo, equal to 14% of the workforce there. This is the news that's dragging Tesla down right here. This is the news right here. That's the news. Taking the stock, about $2 a share or so. Not the biggest dip, but definitely a dip. Did he really? Musk said without robotaxis, Tesla works. Musk. Let me look at Elon. All right, chat. I don't see the thing about Tesla saying the robotaxi thing. Although I do think he's telling the truth here. Like, if anybody's heard me give my argument on Tesla future projections, right? I say the same thing every time. Sometimes people even get mad. They're like, "Oh, you're saying the same thing over and over again." No, I'm telling people how I truly feel about Tesla, which is that if they fail to execute full self-driving, like, if they fail to fully execute that sometime in the next 10 years, where it's fully rolled out, which means that, like, you can have robo-taxis specifically that drive themselves without humans at all, right? Like, that needs to be done effectively. If they do that successfully and they're on the front of that, then they are going to do really, really well. If they fail to do that, if they can't execute that successfully, they are basically in trouble, I think, because, you know, I don't think the margins of their cars, I don't know. We'll see, though. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. All right, guys. So, jobless claims should be the next week. Should be up next week with all the Tesla layoffs. Yeah, maybe. If the jobless claims exceed expectations, would it delay the cut? No, jobless claims are a weekly unemployment filing report, so it's probably not going to have much of an influence over whether the Fed raises or lower interest rates. It'll probably influence to it like a little bit, but I think more important data is like next week's PCE data, next week's GDP data, like bigger economic reports. Jobless claims is just a weekly unemployment filing report, but it's still relevant. It still might move markets a little bit. Deutsche just downgraded Tesla and robotaxi. Well, I gotta give it time. Yeah. Will it hold the 150? People looking for the long-term play there might be starting to DCA into it. Yeah, it's an interesting spot, I think. You know, I'm in Tesla, but I'm in small shares. And we're down a little bit. Yeah, of course, we're going to live stream Tesla earnings next week for sure. Definitely live streaming Tesla earnings. All right, chat. So, yeah, I was just reading Ryan Reynolds' marketing strategies, right? They're all very simple, like Ryan Reynolds' business strategies. And I'm seeing this big post on Twitter by this guy named Hunter Hammonds on Twitter. But yeah, basically, he's talking about Ryan Reynolds' marketing strategy. It's basically the same thing every time, which is he looks for companies that have boring marketing, like that have almost no marketing, boring marketing that he can get in for cheap. An example of one is like Wrexham Football Club, right? One of the worst clubs when he bought into it. When he bought them for 2.5 mil, they were one of the worst clubs. I don't know much about football, like European football, but you know, he basically got in Aviation Gin. He didn't start Aviation Gin. He ended up buying into it because he liked the gin. But he said it had boring marketing. So he enters these companies, he buys into these companies, and then he starts doing viral marketing campaigns on them. You know, he did it with Mint Mobile, he did it with Aviation Gin, he did it with Wrexham Football Club. And then with those viral marketing campaigns, they usually end up getting like much more famous, get much more user base, get much more influx of money, and then he sells them and he makes a lot of money. He's worth almost $1 billion now, you know. So he does the same thing every time. He's done it with, again, Aviation Gin, he did it with Mint Mobile, he did it with you know, he currently owns the Alpine F1 racing team in F1. So he's doing the same thing every time. It's a genius strategy. It's not going to work for most people, and I'll explain why, though. Like, it works for Ryan Reynolds because he's one of the most famous people in the world. Like, he's Deadpool. He's one of the most famous people in the world. It's not going to work for most people because most people don't have the reach that he has, right? Like, most people aren't going to be able to churn out viral marketing campaigns like this. They could still put out some marketing, but it's not going to be like this, you know. Most people are just not going to be able to do that. Yeah, we had United Airlines earnings yesterday. They're up. They're up a lot. Yeah, jobless claims drop at 215. Or expected at 215. You see TSM earnings yet? Are they out this morning? Yeah, if they are, Taiwan Semiconductor earnings are going to be big. Let me see. Oh, they are out this morning. So yeah, they're out. They came out at 129 estimates. They showed up at 138. So TSM is out. They showed up really early this morning though, but they showed up at again, then they came in at 138 versus 129 estimates. Yeah, so 138 versus 132. Sales of 18.87 beat the 18.39 estimate. So TSM is out with their numbers here. And here's TSM right here on the left side. They're actually gapping down some, although they did have good numbers, I think. Like, here's their numbers. Chips are in demand, so... But they are reacting negatively to it, so they are down. Here's Taiwan Semiconductor earnings. Again, they are reacting negatively to this, so, you know, could be worse. All right, guys. Yeah, so again, Taiwan Semiconductors reacting negatively to this. Needham reiterates a buy on Taiwan Semiconductors, maintains a $168 price target. You know, when we look at this one over the last, year, they're up a lot. They're not up as much as some of the other chip stocks, but they're still up big. So I think we got to look at that and understand that too. Alright, guys. Doesn't matter how much a stock is up or down, has zero to do with fundamentals. I mean, it always matters how much a stock is up or down. Honestly, when you look at stocks, no offense to you, it's all good, we could agree to disagree, but when you look at stocks, I would say the most important thing you look at is how much the stock is up or down. You have to look at base extension. How much is up short term based off of EPS ratio, based off of EPS, based off of PE ratio. You know, you have to look at how much it's down or up. You know, you can't just say, hey, it doesn't matter how much it's up or down. That's always relevant. That's always important in my opinion. But again, everybody's different. Again, let's get a timer up, chat. Alright, we drop in, what, 2 hours and 6 minutes? Yeah, or no, that's Hummers. We drop in 1 hour and 36 minutes. There we go. Alright. Can you please explain what happened with Tyson, with TSM? They crushed all earnings expectations. Yeah, but I mean, listen. Again, I'm going to say this once. I'll say it again. I've probably said this 100 times on the stream. And it's important because this is what it means. Okay. If earnings were that easy to make money, where you could just wait around, have a company report good EPS, good revenue, and buy the dip and make money, everybody would be rich. Everybody would just sit around, wait for earnings for their individual companies to drop, and then if it had good earnings, they would buy it. If it had bad earnings, they would sell it or short it, and they would ride off into the sunset, a rich person. That, unfortunately, is not how it goes. There's a lot of nuance behind it. The real reason it's not like that is because the real moves happened a month prior, to a day prior, right? So the real moves happened previous to the earnings report. The real moves happen the week leading up to it, 2 weeks leading up to it, a month leading up to it. People are getting baked into the potential outcome then, and then by the time the earnings are actually coming out, people take profit, they get emotional and sell, they do whatever they got to do. And so you're not going to get complete correlations with earnings. You're just not, unfortunately. It's just not like that. No stock is like that. Sometimes you will, sometimes you won't, but it's certainly not predictable, especially in an efficient market. It's just not predictable. No, not really. If earnings changing estimates quadruples them, does it matter if it doubles in price, John? Yes, it does matter if it doubles in price. Because again, by that regard, if earnings quadruple and it only doubles in price, then it could be argued it might be under its potential value and underreacting to its earnings increases. You know what I mean? So earnings absolutely matter, but how much it goes up and down certainly matters, of course. That matters. You have to look at price, you have to look at extension, you have to look at how much it's up or down versus how much it makes. You have to correlate that with EPS, with revenue. It's something that I did yesterday with Nvidia, because people always act like Nvidia is just the most extended stock ever. But when we look at it, a couple things. First thing, EPS has 6x'd over the last 52 weeks. EPS has 6x'd, right? So their earnings per share for Nvidia has 6x'd. It's gone up 6 times what it was 52 weeks ago. All right. Share price is up about 3.5% or something like that. So when you compare earnings increase to share price increase, in terms of EPS, it's underperforming relative to EPS, right? Revenue, I think it was revenue has 3x'd and the price of the stock has 3.4x'd. So revenue was about neutral, increase to revenue versus increase to share price, but it has followed it up in its earnings power, with price for Nvidia. So people saying Nvidia is just so extended on the upside and it just has to come back down. They don't, I don't think they're necessarily paying attention like they should. And that doesn't mean I think it's not going to come back down. I just think that in terms of its earnings increase versus share price, it's kept up. Yeah, well, Impat says you just prove. I think you're just, no offense, Impat, and it's all love here, bro. And we can agree to disagree here. And just because I disagree with you here doesn't mean I disagree about everything. But you don't want, your problem here is that this, okay? Up or down alone isn't what you want to look at. Nobody said alone. You shouldn't look at anything alone. right? Like, you can't take anything out of context and only look at price and only look at earnings and only look at revenue. Like, you can't take any of those things out of context and only look at those things. You have to look at all of them and then compare them to what they once were. You have to look at how much it's up, how much its share prices increased or decreased, how much its earnings power has increased or decreased, how much its revenue has increased or decreased, how much its guidance has increased or decreased, what its PE ratio is. Like, you got to look at all these different things. It's not just one specific thing, and nobody was ever arguing that. Like, nobody was arguing that it's just one specific thing. The only point is that you do, like, your argument originally wasn't that you can only look at that. Your argument was that you shouldn't look at whether it's doubled or let me go back. I can scroll back to your original argument. Let's see what it was here. Sorry, I gotta find it. I'm scrolling back here. It's gonna be easier for me to just type this out. Let's see. Tesla. They were good. Okay, this was your original argument. Doesn't matter how much a stock is up or down. That was your original argument. It doesn't matter how much a stock was up or down. And again, I mean, of course I gotta disagree with this. Like, of course it matters how much a stock is up or down. But hey, it's all good, you know? Yeah, it's all good, dude. It's all good. But again, this was your original argument. And of course it matters, you know. Anyways, jobless claims numbers expected at 215,000 today, guys. 215K. Last time they showed up at, where'd it go? Last time they showed up at 211. It doesn't. Okay, listen. I disagree. I think, of course, it matters how much something is up or down. Here, let's ask the chat. Chat, does it matter how much something is up or down in investing and trading? Of course it does. It's all good. Google up to almost 160s again, man. United Airlines just pumping up on their earnings. Genuine Parts Company, I don't really know much about them. It obviously does. It always matters. Yep. Yes, it does. Yeah. And look, it's all good, man. It's all good. Maybe you meant something different. Context and understanding is hard to tell through pure text alone. So it's all good, brother. It's all good, man. Tyson Semiconductor's bouncing back up a little bit, though. We're up to almost 137s here, Chad. Almost 137, so... Yeah, it's all good. And if that is your point, Impat, I agree with you. You can't only look at... Again, I'm always saying the same thing, which is that you get some people who use technical analysis, right? And they only use technical analysis. You could have economic data. You could have freaking Jerome Powell say the world is going to end and the market drops 30%. And you got some technical wizard over there being like, nah, bro, that's not from Jerome Powell. That's because the 3 EMA and the 95... SMA crossed over 3 days ago and put in the parabolic shift crossover, and now, you know, the market's dropping 20%. You know, they'll always argue some ridiculous thing, and it's like, all right, like, you can't ignore fundamental data either. You got to look at everything. You got to look at price, movement, extension, economic data, fundamental data, earnings power, revenue, guidance, PE ratios. You got to look at all that stuff. You got to make a big picture argument for the stock, right? And when you put those things together, the more data you look at, the better your edge is going to be when you invest in anything or when you trade, really. The more data you look at, the better your investments and trades are going to be. If you're only looking at technicals, you're going to be misled really easily. And technicals can be very tricky to do, you know. So I think you and I agree in that regard. Yeah, it's all good, Impact. I hope you make some money there, brother. Do you think United Airlines is going to go up more? In what time frame? It really depends on the time frame. Like, I think United Airlines will go up more eventually, but that might be in years from now. I think it's already up a lot over there. Or no, actually, yeah, I think it'll probably go up more. I don't know when. I don't know how. I don't know when it's going to be, but I think over time, most blue chip healthy companies go up. And I think United Airlines is not super extended on the upside. It's probably, I would say, in terms of my own individual bias, I think United Airlines is probably the best airliner, right? Versus all the other ones. I think United Airlines is probably at the top, and I think they are underperforming on the year, and they have potential to go up more. But again, I don't know when, if, how much, anything like that. They're up to almost $50 a share, so we'll see. But yeah, I think eventually they will. Again, I'm not telling you they will. I don't know for sure. This is my own individual bias. I'm not an investment professional. You know, don't sue me. Not liable if you lose. Remember, I am terrible at this stuff. Understand CFTC 4.41 and don't copy me. But yeah, I think eventually United Airlines probably will go up, but I might be wrong there. Yeah, I mean, we got jobless claims today. It's not the biggest report, but it's relevant. We'll see what happens. So if the markets are down 3% in the last month, does it count as anything significant? I think a correction would be more like 10% in that time period. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what markets, but I think it always matters. You know, there's so much nuance in markets, you got to kind of combine it all together and figure it out that way, I think. But yeah, of course it matters. Yeah, so again, yeah, I'm reading about Brazil and some of the stuff going on. Why is Tesla down so much in pre-market? Tesla is down specifically because of this news report here, chat. So Tesla is down specifically because of this news report here. Tesla laid off more people in Buffalo, equal to 14% of the workforce there. So they laid off about 285 workers in Buffalo, equal to about 14% of the workforce. They're down this morning because of it. And so, yeah. Tesla bounce coming soon? Maybe. I don't know. Earnings next week will be interesting. So earnings next week are going to be big. Again, we'll see what happens there. But earnings are going to be pretty important, I would say, and argue for next week. So let's see what happens. Tesla stock heading for its 5th straight downgrade. Why the Model 2 is super important. Some people say the Model 2 is more important than the Robotaxi. Deutsche analyst Emmanuel Rosner downgraded Tesla shares to hold from a buy today. His price target is down to $123 a share. Previously it was $189, so his price target is down $66 a share, roughly 35%. He thinks that Tesla's price point that's now lower, or Tesla's vehicle that they're pushing for, a lower price point. Right now, it's referred to as the Model 2, is going to be pushed out 2025 or later. His buy rating was predicated on that car arriving soon, and now that it's not coming out soon, he's pushing his price target down. He basically thinks they need that because a lower priced Tesla vehicle is going to make them expand their addressable market. And so he's interested in that. Tesla delivered about 390,000 vehicles this year in the first quarter, which is down about 10% or so. It did miss the lowest estimates by about 20,000. Now Wall Street projecting 1.8 million in 2024 delivers, which is neutral from 2023. So the question is whether Tesla's still in a growth phase. Delaying the Model 2 is going to make this a lot worse, I think. To be honest, to be frank, while the Cybertruck keeps Tesla in and keeps people interested in Tesla, like every time we see a Cybertruck, my wife previously hated the Cybertruck, right? So my wife previously didn't like the Cybertruck at all. She did have a talk with me. She was like, hey, I was like, hey, do you still dislike the Cybertruck? She saw one in person, right? She saw one, she saw one in person, took a picture of it and sent it to me. And I was like, do you still hate the Cybertruck? And she was like, it's honestly an impressive looking vehicle, is what she said. Like verbatim, that's what she said. She said, it's honestly an impressive looking vehicle. And that it is. Now imagine that same impressive looking tank-like vehicle floats on water, is essentially bulletproof, and is faster than a Porsche. You know what I mean? That's the marketing angle for Tesla, and it's a good angle. But the other side of that is like the Cybertruck, unfortunately, is not the best for margins. It's just not the good margin vehicle that they want, that they need. And it's going to take a long time to really earn money from the Cybertruck. And so the question is, has Elon spent too much time on the Cybertruck versus what he should have been spending his time on, which in this argument is for a lower price point vehicle? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think the Cybertruck's cool, to be honest, personally. Angry Rant Man has passed away. Rest in peace. I don't know who that was really, but pretty big YouTuber. Rest in peace. Yeah, it grows on you. That's why, again, my wife hated it. She hated it. She didn't like how it looked or anything like that. She saw a Cybertruck. She was like, man, that's an impressive looking vehicle. That's what she said. So, I mean, hey. Alright, oh, dude, there's some funny jokes on social media. Alright, guys, NVIDIA up to 850s right now, 850s. Google up here. Again, we're already looking at, let's look at the SPY. The SPY or the Q is at 427s. 427s. We'll see if it holds. It's gapping up. It's gapping up from 425s. Again, we'll see if it holds. How are the Astros doing this year? The Astros are at the bottom of the division, dude. The Astros suck this year, bro. The whole division sucks. The Angels are 9-9, bro. We're like, bro, the Angels finally lose Shohei Ohtani, and now they're number 2 in the division. They're only 1 loss away from the Rangers, dude. The Dodgers better be doing well. Like, for once, I want to see the Dodgers win, right? Like, I actually want to see the Dodgers win. Okay, they're number 1 in their division with 12-9. Honestly, nobody's good this year. Yankees are pretty good. Guardians are pretty good. Braves are very good. Brewers are good. Okay. I mean, none of the American League West is about to win a series, I don't think. But hey, anything can happen. John hates the closer. Bro, okay. What's his freaking name, dude? Honestly, I've been watching him for years. He was once great. Right? He was once great. Okay? He was once great. Josh Hader, you know, when he pitched for Milwaukee, I think that's who he pitched for, right? Let me look. I'm pretty sure it was Milwaukee. Yeah. He when he pitched for the Brewers, he was really good, man. He was really good. He pitched for the Padres. He was all right. He was mediocre. But when he pitched for the Brewers, he was great. He was great. I don't know if, like, they changed allowing pine tar and sticky stuff for pitchers, all that stuff. But Josh Hader was a killer closer when he played for Milwaukee, right? Like, let me see his ERA as a whole in Milwaukee. It's got to be pretty low. Yeah, he had an under 2.5 ERA for Milwaukee as a whole. So, like, he was good. Something happened to him. I don't know if people just kind of have his number now. They know how he pitch. I don't know what it is, but now he sucks. He's terrible. He's not good. He blows every game he's in. He can't get a strikeout to save his life anymore. You know, and which is crazy because he's a lefty. He throws heat. It's not like 102, but it's like 97, 98. He's quick, right? He's good, but again, he fell off. I don't know why. Where's Bitcoin? I see Taiwan Semiconductors. Bitcoin back up. Bitcoin's almost up to 63,000. That's why Coinbase is probably moving up, is because Bitcoin's rising up short term as well. So coin is moving up because Bitcoin's moving up. What about the dude for sports betting? You're talking about Shohei Ohtani, the most famous baseball player in the world right now, right? Shohei Ohtani is great because he not only is an elite pitcher with a low ERA, he's also an elite batter, and he's in the home run race every year, and that's very rare. You know, the last time we had something similar was Babe Ruth. And to you know, we always say this stat, but to be fair, they haven't really pitchers. Okay, like some pitchers can bat. Like you see, like Trevor Bauer can hit. Like there's a lot of pitchers that can hit, right? Most of the time they don't let them because pitchers are so expensive and necessary that they don't want to risk them getting injured batting. So usually they don't let pitchers and batters do both. But Shohei Ohtani's elite at both. He hits home runs. He pitches 102. And so he's, you know, and again, he just signed the largest contract in baseball ever. It was a $700 million contract. It was deferred for 10 years. I disagree with it. I think it's a bad deal. I think over 10 years, inflation is going to take at least, you know, inflation is going to take at least 70% of the buying power of that contract away. And so I don't think it's as big of a deal. But anyways, his translator recently got caught betting millions and millions of dollars. I think it was something crazy. Like he had made $100 million in bets and he was net down $40 million, right? So something freaking crazy. Even for Shohei Ohtani, $40 million's a lot of money. Babe Ruth wouldn't make a D1 team in today's game. He really wouldn't, man. Again, listen, I like Babe Ruth. I think he's a legendary baseball player, all that good stuff. Most of the baseball players back then wouldn't either, you know, including like, you know, Mickey Mantle was great. But you know, it's kind of like MMA, right? You look at the UFC 20 years ago, right? Dude, every one of those fighters is getting beat up by a freaking 2-4 fighter today, right? Like every single one. People talk about St. Pierre and how great he was. He was all right. He would get KO'd today in a heartbeat, you know? And so the game evolves. You can't really get mad at it. But you got to look at it truthfully as well, I think. Anyways, listen, chat. We still got over an hour before jobless claims numbers come out. Over an hour. Jobless claims are expected today at 215K. DraftKings, yeah, DK and G. Speaking of sports betting, DraftKings down a little bit. I might buy the dip, although I don't know if it's down enough. You know, DraftKings started off the year at $20 a share, roughly. It's at 42s, so it's up over 100%. Bro, Dude, AB is... oh, man. Antonio Brown, dude, he... on social media, he's a problem on social media, dude. Oh, man. Anybody see the Caitlin Clark post? Oh, man. AB is something else on social media. He's funny, dude. He is genuinely funny. But he's a problem as well, for sure. Is it cheap or not? Was what cheap? DraftKings? I don't know if I'd consider it cheap. I don't know if I would consider it cheap. I think it's up over 100% this year, and so I needed to pull back more. But again, it depends on earnings, a lot of other stuff. Other earnings that dropped today, we do have some other ones specifically dropping today, and that is Nokia came out better than expected for EPS, missed on revenue. BX, which is Blackstone, they dropped they dropped neutral EPS, better than expected revenue. Elevance Health is out, they dropped better than expected EPS and revenue. ALK, which is Alaska Air, came out better than expected EPS and revenue. Ally Financial is still waiting for theirs to drop at about 7:25, so they're supposed to drop in about 1 minute. We'll see what Ally shows up at. Ally Financial. And yeah, look at Nvidia up there to 851s after kind of a red day yesterday, right? Yeah, so yesterday a red day for Nvidia. It's back up to 850s here. Nvidia's been between 800 and 900 for a long time now. It hasn't really done much outside of that. It's been basically chopping back and forth between 8 and 900. And again, we'll see if we get anything good here, chat. Again, Google up to 157.40s. My 9-to-5 crypto sold. My 9-to-5 friend sold all his crypto, said we're going much lower and advised me to sell too. I'm reading this. This is not me by any means, right? This is not me by any means. But tell me, do you think this man is telling the truth? He says, quote, and again, this is not me, okay? Quote, my wife refuses to accept that I signed up for our dog sitters OnlyFans by mistake while trying to Venmo her for watching our Dalmatians. I can't stop crying. I would never. End quote. Again, not me. I don't have a Dalmatian, all right? Yeah, there's actually a really funny story. So, one time my wife had a family member. One time my wife had a family member send her a phone number for something. And when she called it, it was like a sex hotline. right? And she's like, oh my gosh, this person, it was a weird one too. It was like, hey, you know, it was weird stuff. It was like super weird stuff. So my wife and I are like mortified. We're like, oh my gosh, like they must have accidentally sent us a number they were using or something, because, you know, and we freak out for a solid like 30 minutes. Eventually we find out that we had 1 digit wrong. 1 digit wrong. You know, 1 digit between the person and an act, like, you know, it was bad. But man, we were super happy to see that, because again, for a little while, we thought that they were like a freaking weirdo for a little while. And it was somebody close too. So like, you know, 1 digit's all that matters sometimes. United Airlines at 48.50s. Reddit, man, it had a really good IPO. It got up to almost $75 a share. Now it's down to $39 a share here. Yeah, let's see if people believe this guy. Michael Saylor unloaded more? Did he really? That's BS, not possible. I believe him. Oh my god, busted. Yeah. Dumb, you know. What's up, chat? Alright. Let's be serious here, guys. It's an important day. Alright, we got jobless claims numbers coming out at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. We got an hour left. We got almost 500 people here already. No, for sure, man. Yeah, no, 100%. Again, for a little while, like, we panicked, right? Like, we called it. We listened to it. We were like, oh my gosh, this person accidentally sent us, like, their own personal number. Like, that we were, like, our logic at the time was like, hey, this person might have been, like, this person was probably using this number. And instead of sending us the number they were trying to send us, they sent us a different number that they were using, right? And so we're panicking. It was weird too, like super, super weird, like very, very strange. Like the likelihood that 1 digit caused us to go to the weirdest phone number ever was just super high. Again, eventually we figured out just 1 digit wrong. We had 1 digit wrong. And she was happy because again, for a little while she had to like accept the fact that this person was a super, like, was this big weirdo, you know? Like, I get being lonely, right? Like, I get it. I get being lonely, right? But, like, to call those people, man, like, you don't know, you know, that just seems like a desperate move. Like, most lonely people genuinely, like, the big problem with most lonely people, I think, is they really just have a hard time putting themselves out there. Most of them could get wives and get girlfriends or whomever, like whatever they're into, right? Most of them could get whatever they're into, right? Like they just have this really hard, like they're reluctant to put themselves out there, right? Like I have friends that I know that are single and have been single for a long time, and again, most of it is just they're reluctant to put themselves out there. You know, you care about them, you want them to just kind of, you know, put themselves out there. It's not hard. Like you got to get rejected. Like rejection is a part of dating, you know. And sometimes you're the rejector and sometimes you're the rejectee, but it's a part of dating, you know. Most lonely people just have a hard time putting themselves out there. Especially with the internet, man. Like, look, you know, you can go out there and find somebody really quick on the internet. All right, NVIDIA, move it up. It's at 854s right now. Break it over the VWAP, break it over the 200 EMA. TSM is still sitting at the 200 EMA right now. The Q is now over these levels as well. Heading into jobless claims numbers, we'll see if you suck at communication, do sales. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Tattoos and bulldogs. It happens, man. No, I haven't heard of that smoke either. Yeah. Are you actually selling your crypto? No, I'm just... No, I'm not. This has now become a routine to come in and see John in the morning. Hey, thanks, bro. Appreciate it. QCOM. Yeah, QCOM earnings. Joe Rogan said most men live their lives in quiet desperation. Yeah. Again, you just gotta put yourself out there. That's a hard thing to do, man. Rejection's tough, dude. Like, rejection's tough. But, like... But again, the world's so big, man. The world's got billions and billions of people. Like, you know, if you're lonely, man, you can find somebody that's into you that you like pretty easily. You just got to put yourself out there, you know. I never really had a hard time doing that. But yeah. But I get it. Like, I really do. It's hard. You know? And I think the longer that goes on, the harder it gets too. Like, the longer it goes, like, the longer somebody's single, the harder it is to, like, really, you know. All right, so we are bouncing back here. Again, you see NVIDIA, the Q, TSM. You got, like, Apple making moves back up. Should I add more to Apple down here? I think I'm going to add a little bit more. Just a little bit. Yeah, we just added a little bit more, I think. We already took profit. So Apple ripped up to like 170s. We took profit. Now it's dipping back down. We'll add a little bit more to it. Yeah, I don't know. Salespeople, I'm not against salespeople, right? Like, I think there's some salesmen that are good. To be honest, though, when the problem with me interacting with salespeople is that everything feels like a script. You know, that might be kind of ironic coming from me, but everything feels like a script to a certain extent. You know, I don't like going to car dealerships because I feel like they look at me just like I'm a sale, and I get it, like, right? I get it, you know, but I don't know. It depends on the type. If somebody can just let me chill and they can recognize, like, yo, I don't want to be bothered, just kind of let me chill. I'll find a car. Like, I have no problem giving somebody like a sale if you know. I just don't want to be bothered, I guess, is the easiest point. Like, I don't want to be pushed. How are you trading Apple when the market's closed? Well, the market's open. Actual, like, 9:30 opening bell hasn't happened. Right now, we're in what's called pre-market. There's three different stages to markets. Yeah, to the stock market. There's three different specific stages, right? First one, market's closed. This happens after extended hour ends from like 8 o'clock, depending on the broker, from like 8 o'clock to 4:30 the next morning. So from 8 o'clock to 4:30 in the morning, from 8 o'clock in the evening to 4:30 in the morning, the stock market is closed. Most of it. The SPY, I think, is still open. There's some index funds that stay open 24/7, but the market essentially is closed from 8 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. Eastern. That's the closed market. That's the first stage. The second stage is extended hours, what's called extended hours, which means that the market is open, but with restrictions, right? So this is usually when the big news reports like jobless claims comes out at 8:30 when pre-market is there. And so the market is technically open, but it's restricted. And so you can only use limit orders, which severely decreases liquidity in these markets. This is when companies release news and earnings and all this good stuff. It's called extended hours. That is from like 4:30 in the morning to 9:30 to the opening bell. It's called pre-market. And then after hours, which is the evening version of it, is from 4 p.m. at the closing bell to like 8 p.m. Right? And again, in these moments, you can only use limit orders. There's some restrictions to liquidity and stuff like that, right? So that's extended hours. And then there's just regular market hours from 9:30 to 4. You can use any type of order you want. High liquidity, you know, that's the normal trading hour. So those are the 3 stages. The best investment you can make is into yourself, gym membership, working on becoming the man you think your ideal mate deserves. I mean, I think that's true, right? But I think some people at the gym also overdo it. Like, I think going to the gym is important. But, like, I think what you see a lot, and I see this a lot with people, right? And again, I'm not judging you, but I see people that don't have much going for them. And so they go to the gym and they just start working out like crazy. A lot of the time they start doing steroids and stuff like this, right? Because they're so desperate to, like, succeed at something, right, that if you take steroids, anybody's going to be swole. And sure, genetics play a factor, but you see these people that just get way too big to where it doesn't even look good anymore. They're just so freaking big and they're like this. You know, it doesn't even look good anymore, man. Like, you ask most females, they're going to be like, hey, that's too much, right? But again, they're so desperate to succeed at something that they just kind of pump themselves full of steroids, and it messes with their head and their emotions. And so I think the gym is great. And I think if you start going to the gym regularly, that's great. I think if, you know, go 3 times a week, 4 times a week, but overdoing anything is bad. You know, overdoing anything is bad. So you just have to have you have to do it with good reason. Don't overdo anything, I think. Worst day of my life was when one girl told me that I dated for like 2 years. Still not sure what I want to try again. Yeah, sorry to hear that, V. I mean, if they went with your brother, you know, I mean, it depends on if you were dating or not. If you were dating her and then she went with your brother, then your brother and her are big wrong. If you were never dating her and you just kind of liked her, I don't think you can really get mad there. And it's all good, bro. Again, there's always other people, dude. There really is. There's always other people. You know, there's always other people. I'm 23, never had a girlfriend before because in my mind, I can't have a girlfriend and I'm broke. I think before you actually have a girlfriend, though, you put it on a pedestal, brother. Like that's what happens, dude. Like, again, I remember before I had a girlfriend when I was like 15, you know, like a real girlfriend. You know, you put it on a pedestal. You get nervous, right? You get nervous. It becomes such a big event in your mind that you just kind of stress out about it. After it happens, though, like, you're fine, man. You just kind of live life, dude. I like listening to you as we get ready for work. Thanks for the laughs. Hey, we try over here, dude. We try. How do I get in touch with somebody with Apex? You just kind of reach out to them, brother. You gotta, again, you go to, you can live chat with them, I'm pretty sure. Well, futures, there's no, you know, there's 3 stages of markets, or specifically for the stock market. Futures are open almost 24/7. They're only closed for about an hour a day, but outside of that, futures are open all day during the week for the most part, with the exception. Like, I know you're trolling, Tommy, but kind of lay off. That's getting a little weird and making me uncomfortable, bro. Sorry, dude. Before I had a girlfriend, I had money. Yeah. Well, yeah, in futures you can use market orders, but that's in futures, right? Futures are completely different. Futures are really commodities. And so in futures trading, you know, you can essentially trade 24/7 with the exception of, like, maybe it's 23/6, you know? But, hey, thank you, Tony. The E-mini is the S&P 500. It depends on which E-mini. There's an E-mini NASDAQ and an E-mini S&P. There's an S&P 500 E-mini and a NASDAQ E-mini. It depends on which one. I think there's a Dow one as well. So the E-mini is just an index fund futures contract, right? So if I trade, like, look, here's the E-mini, S&P E-mini, which is /ES, right? If I put up the SPY, it's the same price action. So again, I can day trade. Like, look, if you put this up here, you can kind of see it's the same thing. The liquidity is actually better in futures, right? But again, you can kind of see it's the same exact thing. Same exact price action and everything. But I can day trade this middle chart in futures, and there's no PDT rule, right? So again, big dip, move up, dip, bounce. Big dip, move up, dip, bounce, right? Same price action. Consolidation. It's the same exact thing. There's no PDT rule on this middle side though, and you can trade it in futures. I'm using a platform called a funded account program called Apex. Apex is what I'm using. It's one of the most legit funded account programs in the world. Again, what they do is they give you a demo and they test your skill. The thing you gotta understand, and I say this every day, but the thing you got to understand is that almost all day traders are going to lose their first couple accounts, right? This is just objectively true. Anybody that really trades recognizes this truth, which is that almost all traders are going to lose their first couple accounts. And so whatever size you make your first account in markets, you're going to lose however much that is most likely. And so if you make your first account 5K, you're probably going to lose 5K. If you make your first account 20K, you're probably going to lose 20K, or at least half of that. And so in that regard, when you're learning to day trade, you got to condition yourself. It takes repetitions. You got to learn how to day trade. You want to limit your risk in the beginning. That's the truth, right? I don't care what anybody says. That's the truth. And so the reason these funded account programs are useful is because they limit your risk, but you still learn how to trade under pressure. So they're a perfect middle ground of pressure where they give you a demo. The base one is the 25K one. They're going to give you a 25K demo. And if you can pass the test, you got to make $1,500 on this 25K demo without losing $1,500. So it's a 1-to-1 ratio. They're reasonable ratio with this size. If you could pass this test, they fund you 25K with a 90% split. You also get to keep your first 25,000 in profit, I believe. And so again, what they do is they give you a demo. The really, really useful part of this, again, is that if you lose it, you're only out $25 right now if you use my link. It's 80% off this 147. So it's 80% off. So right now, again, if you use my link right now and my coupon code BT, you get this for 147 times 0.2. So 80% off. You get this for $29. Right? Very cheap. If you lose, you're out $30. It's not the end of the world. But if you pass it, you get a 90% split anyway. So it's similar to putting the money up yourself. There's just noticeably less risk. And again, they're a sponsor of mine. They pay me money. I'm biased because they pay me money. Anybody's going to be biased if you get paid. And so I'm definitely biased. Okay. But again, if you use my coupon code, you'll get the max discount. You can check it out right here. Great way to help support the channel. And in the futures market, again, you can day trade, buy market, sell market, all that good stuff. In pre-market, in extended hours, you can day trade short, all that good stuff. Check it out. You can also trade gold, a lot of other stuff too. Funded trader website. I mean, that's cool. I don't know. They got a lot of sketchy stuff going on though, so I'm gonna delete that comment. Just because I'm just look. They had some sketchy stuff go on over there, and so I don't really want to promote them. No offense. I'm talking about the funded trader is who I'm talking about. I just don't really want to promote the funded trader just because, you know, they a lot of weird stuff happened with them over the last couple months. Bro, AMC traders have got to be the most ridiculous people on social media, bro. AMC is still down a whopping percentage, right? It going up 10% after dropping 90 does not mean anything. And people are so desperate for good news. Like, so many people have made these crazy bold predictions for AMC that, like, every small little bounce, they start acting like it's time for the big squeeze. No, it's not. Like, no, it's not. All right, so you could use Vasa 1, which is Microsoft's new AI. How do I get it? I want it. Where's it at? How do I use this? I want to use it. Where do I get it? You're showing me all this stuff. That's cool. Did they actually drop it so I could use it, or is it just marketing for it currently? I don't think I can actually use it yet. Yeah, but the MACD is completely insignificant regarding AMC, right? Like using extension, um, or not the MACD. I'm sorry, I was thinking of the RSI. I was gonna say using RSI for AMC. It just doesn't make sense. AMC's never extended on the downside. Like it's not a blue chip company. A penny stock can't be extended on the downside. They're probably just weak, right? They're probably just weak. Yeah, I mean, they're not supposed to teach you anything, lies. They're supposed to give you a cheaper way to lose. If you lost on Apex, you probably would have lost more money somewhere else, right? Realistically, you're probably just a troll trying to push buttons. But again, for those out there, you know, some people get upset if they lose on Apex. Again, I'm here to tell you, if you lost on Apex, you probably would have lost way more than that with a regular account. You know, that's just the truth. But of course, guys, remember, I am terrible, have no idea what I'm talking about, may be wildly wrong about anything. Sometimes I trade off stream. My trades might be done off stream. Do not copy me. I don't know what I'm talking about. Understand CFTC 4.41. Hypothetical or simulated performance results may vary, all that good stuff. And yeah. All right, chat. So E-mini pulling back a little bit. We might actually start day trading some here. Here's the Q. Here's the E-mini. Yeah, your feelings are pretty standard, dude. Let me see. V, did you comment? Is it a good strategy to see the trend from 1 hour time frame and entry on the 5-minute time frame, or do I always have to consider the daily chart for a trend? It depends on, like, everybody's different. Techno, I would say that it's all subjective. It all depends on the trader, the time frame. I think a daily chart is sometimes a little bit too long. It depends on how long if you're day trading, you don't really have to look at the daily chart as much, although you might want to consider it regardless. If you're swing trading, you probably want to at least look at the daily chart to see what long term's looking like, I guess is the point. Charts can do technical bounces, and AMC might bounce with the technicals. I mean, maybe. Again, the problem with AMC is you got so many people that are pushing for a squeeze that every small little bounce they are, you know, talking about how great it is. Like, I don't know, man. I think it's silly. I don't think you can look at AMC like it's a extended blue chip. You know, again, on the downside, there is no extension for AMC. Yeah, 15-minute charts are my favorite. Learn to view everybody as only a friend. Don't get caught up in lust. Let a woman build your trust and show you she's a good person. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what your goal is, I think. But yeah, I mean, if you want to date somebody, sure. Sorry, I'm bumping my mic. John, just curious, why do you hold the position in AMC? Just speculation. Well, my AMC position, I'm okay with losing all of it if I need to, and it's not going to be the end of the world if I do, right? Like, that's number one. It's like I'm completely okay with losing this all of the money I invest into AMC. The second thing is, like, I bought it a long time ago, and now I'm down so much, and, like, it's already basically down to almost zero. So, again, if I sell it now, you know, I might as well just wait. In my mind, like, I'm okay with losing whatever, and if I lose it, it's all good. But if AMC does make a miraculous comeback, it's got a big following of traders that are interested in AMC, and so I think there's not only bad things to say. I think there's some optimistic things for it. I think they're going to support the company to a certain extent, and that's good. I think I'm down so much already. I think it would be silly to sell it, especially with the small position that it is. Right. Worst case tax write-off for sure, yeah. Alright, so again, E-mini is up. Taiwan Semiconductors are up. QQQ is up to 427 here. We're probably going to get ready to day trade some in futures here, chat. So let's get ready to day trade. Anything look good this morning? Bro, some of these people doing plastic surgery are out of freaking control, dude. I'm not judging you if you want to get a little bit of work done. I'm really not, right? But, like, some of these young people that are getting... Like, you should never get Botox in your 20s. Like, that's silly. Like, getting Botox in your 20s shows that you might be addicted. You know what I mean? Like, in your 20s? Like, bro, I didn't even have wrinkles in my 20s, man. Like, I'm not judging you if you get it when you're 40, but if you get it when you're 20-something, you got a problem. I usually switch it that week. Yeah, I don't know. Super flat. Looks like folks are waiting for the jobs report. Yeah, I mean, unemployment filings today might be interesting. Stuff hurts. I had filler in my lips twice, and it's a horrible pain. Yeah. I mean, my lips don't need filler at all. you know. But like, if anything, like I have the opposite problem with me, you know. But like I've met people that I know that have it, and it's just at a certain point it's really obvious and transparent, you know. And so like I'm not judging anybody, but just understand. Yeah. I don't know why TSM is down. I mean, they had pretty good earnings. I think most people just got baked into the move already. So, you know, I think most people just got baked into the move already, and so they're just kind of moving with that. Again, we still got about 30 minutes until the jobs report comes out. 30 minutes. It'll again, the expectation for today is around 2:15. Let's look at. I'm gonna look at a different expectation to make sure it fits. But yeah, so the expectation. Oh, we also have the Philly Fed Index expected at 1.5. 215 is what's expected, chat. So 215. You know, we also had United Airlines earnings. Tesla's down a little bit today based off of, you know, layoffs. More layoff news in Tesla and Buffalo. So we also have some Fed speakers today too. Yeah, so Tesla laying off people in Buffalo. Yeah, so the Q got a little bear flag here. Pawn says, you can see that here. I don't know, I see kind of like a wedge almost, but yeah, I can kind of see it. All right, chat. Again, we do have Tesla testing lows again. Tesla testing lows. Somebody's told me I look like Ryan Kessler before. I guess I can kind of see it. Yeah. Yeah, usually companies move up on layoff news, but for whatever reason, Tesla reacted negatively to it. I'm not sure why. I don't know. Tesla trading below 52-week low. Yeah, Tesla layoffs are related to reducing demand. Bearish. All right, chat. All right, we're waiting for jobless claims numbers to come out. We'll see if we get anything good, man. I'm trying to be patient. We almost got 700 people here. Almost 700. Q down at 427s, 427s. Gold still pumping up to almost 2,400. Still looks pretty good. $215K. Tesla's double what it should be. Ford PE still ridiculous and all that means. Yeah, but I mean, do you take into consideration that we do you take into consideration that, you know, the next year's tough, but after that, you know, I think you have better outlook. You know, the Cybertruck dented their margins, I think, is something that you have to consider there with Tesla, is like the dent to margins from the Cybertruck specifically. Hey, bud. How you doing, man? Love you, buddy. Have a good day, dude. Love you, bud. You doing all right today? All right. Hey, good luck today, man. You got this, bro. You got this, buddy. All right. Love you, buddy. Love you, man. All right. Yeah, my son's got a big day today. I'm not gonna be too specific, but yeah, big day. All right. So again, TSM trying, Tesla just cracked lows. The Q is starting to fade down. I don't know if it's from Tesla specifically or if there's another reason it's starting to fade down, but Apple broke lows, breaking out of the previous closing price at 168. Microsoft is still pretty green today. AMD and the likes are still somewhat green. I think a lot of stuff's really just kind of sitting back waiting for jobless claims numbers. Amazon is green, Google is green. So we got some green in tech, but it's mostly flat. I would say most stocks are kind of sitting back waiting for earnings, or not earnings, for jobless claims, unemployment filings to come out. So price can continue to go up or down. Charts do not predict anything. They just tell us where it's at and use for risk profit thresholds. Yeah, I mean, again, you can use charts to try to predict things. It's never a perfect science. I think the way you have to understand, like, I think Mark Twain famously said, history doesn't repeat itself, but it certainly rhymes, right? And I think that's the angle you have to look at charts under, where it's like, it might not be a perfect correlation to what happened in history, but like, it's still going to give you some understanding of it, I think. You know what I mean? Man. All right. All right, so we are getting some weakness here. I kind of want to short the Q. I might short a little bit here, chat. So give me a second here. We'll probably short some. We kind of missed it, so it's all right. We'll start with one contract here on the NASDAQ. And again, this is futures trading on Apex right now. So this is futures trading on Apex. I was going to add a little bit more to it. We just didn't get the chance, but I think it's a bearish pattern. I guess we'll add a little bit more to it since we're already green, so like enough. Yeah. All right, we took half off there. We're in this position. I don't know what we're gonna do on the rest of it, but you can see it's very similar to day trading stocks. Well, nothing always works. Nothing's definitive. Like, nothing works 100% of the time. Nobody's arguing that, I think, here. You know, it's really easy to disprove that something doesn't work at 100% of the time. But again, if something did, then again, everybody would be rich. Nothing works 100% of the time. The easiest way to say it is nothing's definitive. It's usually, there's variance for everything. And, you know, I always try to tell people that. What does Chart Prime say to do? Buy or sell? I don't know. Buy it and figure it out. I don't know. All right, chat. We got almost 800 people here. We still got about 20 minutes left. Small little baby trade to start the day. And that's all right. Kind of a flat head into jobless claims numbers. I'll go ahead and add to this, see if it breaks down, I guess. We got 2 contracts now. Here we go. We'll cover half. All right, so we're bouncing up a little bit. Should I add to it? We got a little double bottom there. I think I'm just gonna sit in this. Gold's still pumping up to 2400s. Maybe I should be day trading gold. All right, so we're out. We're up over 20 bucks. We'll just kind of sit tight. We did get a breakdown. Downward trend worked, but we do have a broad, kind of a flat, like slightly upward trending stock. If you look at this here, like we're slightly upward trending. You know, but it's still very neutral. Kind of a slight uptrend, but it's still very neutral. So again, we'll give it time, see what happens. Can you explain how the data will affect people's expectations? Well, typically higher jobless claims will signal more optimism in markets, I think, personally. Because again, the higher jobless claims are, the more optimistic people will be regarding inflation and rate cuts. If jobless claims are lower than expected, that signals more economic growth, more spending, more jobs. And that's not a good thing necessarily right now when the whole market wants rate cuts and inflation is still pretty rough. So it looks like we're not going to get rate cuts anytime soon. You know, I think that's the way you got to look at it. And so, yeah, that's where I'm at. Again, what do you guys think? Do you guys think the market wants higher or lower jobless claims numbers? Yeah, I don't know if we're bad news and good news and bad news. Nobody knows. I think typically with jobless claims lately, the market's going to fear economic strength because of inflation fears. But again, I don't know for sure. So do you guys think the market wants higher or lower jobless claims? I think they want higher jobless claims. That signals less economic growth, less of a need of a rate cut, or less of a need, or more of a need for a rate cut is what it signals, right? And I think the market wants rate cuts right now. But again, we'll see. Yeah, Jack's gonna do great. I appreciate it. Jack's gonna do great. I hope he does great. I hope he makes it home today and tells. We can't actually go to it, unfortunately, but I hope he gets home today and tells us how well he did. I'm gonna put that out in the world. Hope he does well. Bro, okay, did Gary Gensler said, "It's been an honor to serve as SEC Gov chair. Over the past 3 years, I've seen firsthand how the incredible staff at the SEC serve investors and issuers alike." A thread. And then when you look back at the post, there is no thread, bro. He didn't even make a thread. I don't know if Gary G understands what a thread is or like what that means, but he didn't post a thread. He literally said all this and then even put a thread with the purple yarn and then nothing underneath it. Is he a troll? Is he trolling everybody? Pretty good troll if so. Okay, no, here it is. Here's Gary G. Okay, we found it. He said, quote, "We filed more than 2,000 enforcement actions. The SEC enforcement actions have resulted in orders for more than $6 billion in civil penalties and more than $6 billion in disgorgement. We've been working on making our markets more efficient, competitive, transparent, and resilient. We finalized 38 rules on treasury clearing, corporate governance, and money market funds, to name a few. And we're not done. On our agenda, further equity market structure rules and additional cybersecurity rules, among others." Okay. All right, chat. We got 12 minutes. 12 minutes. We got about 900 people here live right now. Hey, hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell. We're going to weed out the trolls a little bit. If you haven't already, subscribe, guys. You know you want to do it one time. It might feel good. Just try it right now. Chat, subscribe. We are now in sub-only mode. We'll see who really supports the channel. Are you playing Tesla to the upside? I mean, I'm in Tesla. I'm probably just going to stay in it. I don't think I'm going to sell it unless it gets like massive weakness and unless it's in like a lot of trouble. But my position in it is currently pretty small. And so, you know, we're good right now. Yeah, y'all help me hit, y'all help me hit 135K. We're getting pretty close to 135K. right, so again, market's mostly down over the last 10 or 15 minutes, although it's sideways, choppy, you know, most of extended hours. You can see we're slightly green, but it's not like a great green. Doesn't look that good, I guess is the point. Again, will jobless claims come in higher or lower than expected? 55% say they're bullish, 45% say they're bearish on jobless claims. Will it come in higher or lower, chat? Let me know. Yeah, we'll see what jobless claims numbers show up as, chat. It's a big day. It's the biggest day this week, although, again, overall. But aside from that, man, next week we got GDP, we got PCE data, durable good orders on Wednesday. Wait, I thought we had durable good orders today. Or no, today's the Philly Fed Index. So today it's not just jobless claims. We also have the Philly Fed Index at 1.5 expected. If you don't know what the Philly Fed Index is, it measures the business conditions in the Federal Reserve District. So over 50... or over 0 means improving manufacturing conditions. Below 0 indicates worsening. So they're expecting a slight improvement in manufacturing conditions month to month at 1.5 versus 3.2 last time. So a little bit of decrease, but still above 0 at 1.5 month to month. So if we're looking at manufacturing numbers, today's data will, you know, make an influence on that. Initial jobless claims expected at 215,000. So that's how many people are initially filing for unemployment week to week. Last time it was 211. They're expecting a slight bump up to 215s this time. And again, the question is, what does the market want, right? Again, personally, and again, I might be wildly wrong. Nothing's definitive, especially when it comes to predicting economic reactions in markets. So economic data reactions in markets. And so again, I don't know. Last time, I think we reacted negatively to lower jobless claims numbers. And again, I think today, if we come in higher, the market will react positively to it. But again, nothing's definitive. It's certainly just a guess here. And so again, we'll see what happens. But we have about 8 minutes left, chat. 8 minutes left. So let's do this. We got about 1,000 people here. Job market is rough today. Yeah, I believe you. So I'm guessing the new Microsoft AI is not out. Yeah, Alibaba stock, man. I'm in it right now, but man, it's still struggling. All right, so we are flushing lows here, chat. We got 6 minutes here, chat. 6 minutes. Give me your prediction. What do you think the jobless claims numbers are going to show up as? What do you think the numbers are going to show up as? I really personally don't know. High or low? Again, 215 is the neutral level. It's the expected number. Over that means less economic growth. Under that means more economic growth. So let's see. What do you guys think the numbers are going to show up as, chat? We got a little bit over 5 minutes left. Yeah, we also have the Philly Fed Index expected at 1.5. 1.5 for the Philly Fed Index. Jobless claims expected again at 215K. Epidemic sounds I'm at. Yeah, I mean, this flush isn't really the biggest move, you know what I mean? So this flush isn't the worst thing, like, you know. Yeah, Enron. You know, I'm in Enron right now. I'm in BlackBerry, you know. I was trying to buy FTX or FDX, but I was trying to buy FTX, but you know, they're, you know, just kidding, guys. Haha. Don't copy me. I don't want people actually buying those things and then getting weird. All right, chat, here we go. Hey, we got 4.5 minutes left. We got 1,100 people here watching. $230K. I think 230 is way too much, but you might be right. I don't know. Again, I really don't know here. We got about 3.5 minutes left. 200K, maybe 220. We'll see. Again, expectations 215. Philly Fed Index expected at 1 point. Yeah, it's expected at 2.5. I see some people showing 2.5 expected, some people showing 1.5. So it's difficult to see what the neutral level is. All right, chat, 3 minutes left. We got about 1,200 live here. We got this little bounce here. I'm going to short this. It's going to be a really quick trade, though. So we got 3 contracts here. All right, we're out of most of it. We got 1 contract left. And we'll go ahead and cut that. All right, so yeah, just quick little scalp. Made our money and get out. We got jobless claims coming out in less than 3 minutes, so I don't really want to take any big positions. We got Netflix dropping their numbers here, chat. So Netflix releases their numbers this evening. So we do have Netflix earnings this evening. Again, I'm not going to be covering them just because Netflix doesn't have a live earnings call. Instead, they have like a video, a pre-recorded video that they do for Netflix earnings. So Netflix isn't really one that I'm going to cover like that. It's just a video interview. It's just not that big, to be honest, for Netflix. So we're not really going to cover it, but next week we got some big earnings. All right, chat, we got about 2 minutes. 2 minutes live. Bond yields have been spiking here, so I figured out what happened. So if I want to look at bond yields, I put in TNX CGI. All right, it shows 10-year yields currently at 4.59, almost 4.6% for bonds. Again, almost 4.6%. Pretty good numbers here for bonds. Again, we'll see if it holds or what happens here, but yeah. All right, chat, here we go. We got 45 seconds left, chat. 45 seconds. We got about 1,400 people here for jobless claims. Not too bad. Get ready here, chat. We are going to cover this data as fast as we can. Here it goes. Jobless claims, Philly Fed. Data coming out today. Be ready. Be ready, chat. Jobless claims, Philly Fed Index data coming out today. Important look at markets here. We got about 20 seconds left. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream, chat. We appreciate the love so much. Thank you so much. Here we go. Again, jobless claims expected at 215. 215. Report's about to drop right now. All right, this timer's a little bit early. It's not out yet. It drops in about 5 seconds. All right, guys, here we go. Let's watch. And there's the release right here, chat. There's the release. Jobless claims 212,000, lower than expected. 212K versus 215,000 expected. The Philly Fed Index came in at 15.5. 15.5 for the Philly Fed Index versus 1.5. Literally 10x what was expected. So that is showing way bigger Philly Fed Index, way more strength in manufacturing than expected. 1.5 versus is what was expected. 15.5 is what the Philly Fed Index showed up as. Way higher than expected for the Philly Fed Index. Jobless claims came in lower than expected, showing more people working, more people spending. We'll put these numbers up on screen here. Chat, we got about 1,600 people watching. But yeah, jobless claims showing up more than expected. Philly Fed Index showing up way higher than expected here. And the market so far is reacting positively, although the first move can be the wrong move originally. I'm not saying it is, but there's the numbers rip. But man, market's about flat from this report right now, chat. So it went up and now it's retracing all the way back down here, guys. So we're all the way back down. We're pretty neutral in this report. We'll see what the market does. We're watching it closely. And again, this is the NASDAQ 100. I can day trade this in futures. Like, look, I'm going to short this here, see if we reverse with one contract. But again, I can day trade very similar to day trading stocks and futures, but there's no PDT rule. I can get started for very, very cheap. It's what most people should be getting started with because there's just less risk. Again, what Apex does is they give you a demo and they test your skill. I've already passed this test, so this is a $50,000 funded account, and I have a 90% split on this account. To get this account, they gave me a $50,000 demo. It was only like 40 bucks a month. They gave me a $50,000 demo. I had to make 3K in profit without losing 2.5K first. And if I did that, they funded me. Once I did that, they funded me 50K with a 90% split. The best part is if I lose, I was only out 40 bucks or so is what I paid for it. Best of both worlds. Limited risk. If you lose, you're only out, 30, 40 bucks for the, for 50K, 25K one. But if you're good enough to pass it, again, 90% split, you get to keep your first 25K in profit. There's no PDT in futures. I'm going to go ahead and take profit here. Beautiful move on this. Again, very similar to day trading stocks. Again, we're already up 50 on the day in our funded account. And again, you can do this in futures. This is the NASDAQ 100, basically the QQQ price action in futures. And so you can day trade short, buy market, sell market in futures. There's no PDT rule. And it's just a great way to learn. It's the perfect middle ground of pressure, where you don't have too much pressure, but you still have to learn how to trade under pressure. And if you're good enough to pass it, your risk is limited. So your risk is usually less than $100, depending on which package you get. But if you pass it, you're still keeping 90%. Tons of great resources. They've paid out over $100 million to their funded traders. They are a sponsor. I'm biased. They pay me money. And so I'm certainly biased in their favor. Always understand I am terrible. I have no idea what I'm talking about. I may take trades off stream. Understand CFTC 4.41, hypothetical or sim performance results have limitations, all that good stuff. If you want to get the max discount for them, promo code BT, beginner trading BT. 2 letters, BT, beginner trading, get you the max discount at all times. Always remember that. But we're completely flat from this report, chat. We are completely flat from this report. Just kind of waiting here. Again, we got an initial reaction to this. Now we just got to sit tight. Yeah, well, Tesla's not really going to move. The market's going to move. It might drag Tesla up or down. All right, guys, completely neutral from this report so far. Yeah, definitely top 3 most biased trader for my sponsors in the world right now. Definitely top 3 most biased traders ever in the world. Is the Philly Fed 10x bad or good? Neither. It means way more strength in manufacturing, however you want to interpret that. So more strength in manufacturing is what that signals. So that kind of signals more economic and manufacturing growth. Could be fears of inflation problems consequenting from that. But, yeah, let's not get political, please. Again, I'm not against you or for you. I'm very neutral politically, but one thing I don't want to bring to the stream is politics. Please and thank you. I appreciate it. Again, I'm not against you. I'm not for you either in politics. I'm completely flat, as I should be, and we're going to keep this stream completely flat. Yeah, unemployment below 3.9%. Again, very good unemployment numbers. It's why when people say we're in a recession, it's silly. It's like, again, job numbers are good. GDP growth is there, right? A recession is 2 consecutive losing GDP quarters, and we're nowhere near that. GDP will drop next week. It'll be interesting, you know. All right, guys. So this is the big news we had today. We're pretty flat from this report. Sometimes the first move can be the wrong move, and so what we do have from this report right now, chat, is we have a range here. Top range, bottom range. We can wait for breaks on the top and bottom of this. Really, I think this range is a little bit better because look at all the support we have here. So we'll watch for the top and bottom break of this range and see if we get anything good. I feel like recession. I feel like the economy is too hot in the Fed. Right, exactly. I think if anything, there's too much spending right now. Fake drop? I don't know if it's fake. I think we just gotta wait. Hey, good luck, boom. Good luck, bro. Yeah, TSM earnings are out. They've been out. They came out early this morning. So yeah, they came out early this morning. Kind of an underwhelming reaction, though. They probably got baked into these moves already. Yeah, I mean, regardless of why the higher spending is there, we have a lot of spending, right? Which is the opposite of what we get in recessions or depressions. And so, again, you got to look at things like objectively. I think one of the things that... Hey, baby. Now you can say it. Subscribe. Thanks, buddy. Love you, man. All right, sorry, guys. My kids were in here. My family was in here. All right. Saying a little morning prayer, you know, early. That's been a thing that we've been trying to do. But yeah, so anyways, market is starting to push up, and now it's pulling back a little bit. We'll see if it holds support here. This looks like a cup and handle. So we'll try to buy this little dip and see if it holds. But yeah. Buying this dip. Let me put the music back on. That's why I muted the music. It's been something my family's been trying to do. All right, so yeah, we bought this little dip. Kind of looks like a cup and handle. I'm not gonna get too sized in here, but let's see if we hold. Looks like it's a good thing we took small size because we'll give it a second. But again, this might just confirm choppiness. Oh, now we're right back up. We're kind of flat. Now we're back up. We're green. There we go. Popped all the way up to the top of that range. We'll take a half of it off there and see if we keep pushing up. There we go. Not a bad day so far. Nice little pop. We'll go ahead and cut the rest off there. Yeah, I mean, a cup and handle breakout, like, these work a lot, chat. These work a lot. Short term, but again, just to show you guys what I saw here. Now, I want you guys to understand this concept that I use in trading a lot, which is that highs and lows are like magnets, right? And so what I mean by that is, like, okay, we have the little cup. And this pattern, you can use it on long-term time frames, short-term time frames, quick trades, longer-term trades, daily charts, whatever you want to use it on, right? This pattern seems to work really, really effectively because, again, you got to understand highs are kind of like magnets, right? So when you get a cup handle like this and you get a dip, a lot of the time we're at least going to bounce up some, which is exactly what we did, right? Like, I never try to hold it for the full breakout of the cup. Usually I just buy the dip and I try to cover around the top of this range. So around this high, around this high, around this high, because again, just like you see it here, it's kind of rejecting, but most of the time it's going to pivot in that range back and forth, right? So most of the time it's at least going to come up here, which is what it did. Right, and we got out and we're not even in this anymore. And so that's kind of the trading strategy I use a lot. It's a high percentage trade, use about a 1-to-1 risk level, but it works really well for me. I trade it a lot because, again, even in situations when it fails like this, most of the time it's at least going to pivot up there at least once, and that's when I take profit. So I hope that makes sense. It's just a little micro cup and handle breakout. Cup and handle really in 5 minutes. I mean, the time frame doesn't really matter. I mean, most patterns you can use short term and long term. It just depends on which time frame you're looking at. We do have new home sales today, Chad. So we do have new home sales. Alright, so got a little dip. Well, I mean, with any cup and handle strategy, right? So you have the cup, you have the handle here. Right, now it failed after it retested the top of the range, but again, with this specific strategy, I'm not looking for it to rip back up. Like, you can kind of see I cut it already, but the handle's right here. You buy the dip on the handle and you ride it back up. Let me see if I can find another example of this. Let me see. There's probably a bunch of examples, but let me find one. Here's one. Here's one that actually worked a little bit better. Right, and again, you can use this on any time frame. Let me put a 5-minute chart up. It might be easier to show. Yeah, so again, here's a 5-minute version of it. Okay, so again, we got the same thing. We've got a cup looking pattern. Sometimes it'll look more like a V, but that's okay. You try to buy the consolidation pullback here, and again, usually I'm just looking to take the top of the range, right? So if we have a range up there, I'm just using to buy the dip and ride the range up. Again, we haven't lost at all today, including on this trade, and so we're gonna keep trying to kind of grind up our profit, but yeah, there's a lot of examples, I'm sure, of the same strategy. Here's another one on a longer term time frame where it didn't really follow through the best. Here's the cup, here's the little dip for the handle, and then here's the pop back up. Again, we're attacking the top of that range is what we usually do. Works a lot. Like, it's just a very big psychological momentum pattern is all it is. I mean, it always works in hindsight. I mean, the trade in general worked. I made money on the trade, you know. Did you explain the significance of the business index numbers, the Philly Fed index? Yeah, I mean, they came in much stronger than expected for manufacturing, much stronger than manufacturing. But again, I think that might be seen as a negative in markets. Like, I really do think it might be seen as a negative in markets just because the market fears inflation, right? So the stronger the market is, the stronger the economy is, the more the market's going to fear inflation. And so that's actually making the NASDAQ dip from strengthen the economy. So may I ask you, how would you decide cutting the loss? Usually it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Will new home sales have the same impact? Probably not. No, not really, Dominic. Not really any big lag. Correct, WD, or it's what I'm trying to, you know. I was, the most I was down on this trade was about $20. We made about $20 from it, you know. So we try to keep it a 1-to-1 ratio, although it's not perfect. New home sales are going to be much less of an impact, I would say. We'll more pivot to shorting now. So if we bounce up to this resistance level, we'll short. We can see this range, and so we'll draw the range. We need a larger bounce. All right, so we're gonna start to short. We'll take a larger size position since we have a cushion on the day and see if we can make a little bit more from it now that we have a cushion on the day. See if we can get over $100 in profit. All right, we're flat. The risk is that we continue choppiness, which I don't want. Here we go. All right, we took half of that off just to protect the trade. Now it's not going to be a losing trade. It'll almost certainly be a green trade. We'll go take a little bit more off there as well. Nice. Do I want to add more to this? No, I think I'm just going to hold it. Break even now. Yeah, we're out. All right, so yeah, we're up, you know, over $75, almost 100. We got 11-to-1 win-loss ratio today. And so check that out. Look at my win-loss ratio so far today. Just building up the small profit first. So, not bad. Not bad. Again, people can make fun of my strategies. They can make fun of my system, whatever. Usually, they just have this bias. Like, if you're really biased on the bear side, any long pattern might make you emotional. Like, anybody saying, hey, I'm going to buy this long might make people emotional. And that's kind of how it goes sometimes. You got to check yourself out of your bias too much and really look at both sides. That's why you see me take a long trade and a short trade in about 10 minutes because, you know, I thought there were edges on both sides. These are scalping strategies as well, so like we don't need them to go long term in our favor. Gold's still moving up. Gold over $2,400 a share, $2,400. Yeah, it's definitely a double top. But again, I always tell people the same thing, right? Like, look, you get people that buy these highs right here, right? So people will wait for the high of the day break, and then they'll just buy it up, and they'll hope for it to rip up like this. This is almost never going to happen, right? It's just almost never going to happen. Why? Because experienced traders are taking profit right here. And so again, in the cup and handle, I'm not buying this, right? Instead, I'm buying it like right here and looking to ride it up and then taking profit at the top. I'm taking profit where everybody else is taking profit at the top of this range here. You know, here, right? Like I'm taking profit at the top of the range because that's where everybody else is taking profit. And that's actually why we dipped all the way back down, is because people like me took profit there. And that's exactly where I took profit. And so I trade the cup and handle a little bit differently. I don't need it to, like, it's not going to really look like a cup and handle until it follows through. But that doesn't matter. I'm looking for, basically what I'm doing is I'm looking for it to test the top of the range. And then instead of buying the high of the day breakout like a greedy trader, I'm instead going to wait for a pullback, buy the dip, and sell the bounce back up, right? So it's not going to look like a cup and handle at the end of it, and that's okay because we're just kind of scalping. We're scalping a retest of the top, right? That's all we're doing. And you can call it whatever you want, right? I call it a cup and handle because that's kind of what it looks like when I get in it. But everybody's different. Yeah, I mean, Yair, again, man, I'm green on this account. I've got 11-to-1 win-loss ratio today. So, like, regardless of hindsight, they're working today, brother. You know, we can criticize all the technical trades, but, you know, again, they're working today. So, and again, I can't guarantee they're going to work for you all. Figure it out yourself. Like, y'all got to figure out what works for you, what doesn't. Everybody's different. These are just the trades I like taking, you know. Hey, well, good luck, Ram. Appreciate it, bro. Thanks, man. So today's news is bullish. I wouldn't really call it bullish or bearish. I think the Philly Fed Index showed economic growth. Jobless claims showed economic growth, right? And so both economic reports, the Philly Fed Index and jobless claims, both showed economic growth, right? Now, whether you consider economic growth a good or bad thing right now depends on your interpretation of the economy. If you think that too many people, if you think the economy is too strong right now and inflation is a risk, these are bad numbers. This is a bad report. This signal more inflation problems, potentially, you know, less of a need for rate cuts, right? And the market wants rate cuts right now. You can tell. If you think the economy is at risk, then you might think these are good numbers because it shows a stronger economy. So it really just depends on what your view is there. Hey, thanks, Deuce. Right, and again, the strategy with I'm not taking on an obscene amount of risk when you see guys in these trades, right? So again, like, it's easy to criticize these, but when you look at it, again, 11-to-1 win-loss ratio, right? Like, the likelihood that this would just be pure luck, that this would just be pure luck, and that this graph doesn't have any edge is very, very low. Like, statistically speaking, like, right, like, that's very, very low. I think you got to understand, like, different things work. The easiest way to put it is like this, right? New traders that are relatively new, and I mean like a year or less of experience maybe, they typically think that their way of trading is the only way, right? Like their way is the only way. If you don't trade like them, you're wrong, and you should trade like them, right? Like that's every new trader in the world. They're, you know, high of the day breakouts are the greatest ever. You know, if you don't trade high of the day breakouts, you don't know how to trade. You know, moving average crossovers are the greatest thing ever. You know, if you don't trade those, you're the worst trader ever. But experienced traders recognize that a lot of people can do a lot of different things that work for them that might not work for me, right? Like, I understand I have strengths and weaknesses personality-wise that are going to influence whether I trade certain strategies and systems well or not. Experienced traders recognize you might be able to do whatever and do it better than I can. And that doesn't mean that it doesn't work, right? Just because I can't do something essentially doesn't mean it doesn't work. And I think you got to look at that you got to be open-minded in that regard to different systems and strategies, you know. But again, with all that in mind, I'm not claiming to even be a good trader. I'm not claiming to be an expert. I'm not claiming to be profitable. I'm not claiming any of that stuff. Top 3 worst traders of all time ever in the world. Don't sue me, you know. Yeah. Yeah, flat. Again, we're very flat. The market's super choppy right now. Like, look. So, very flat, very choppy, very boring. Not a lot going on. Maybe the opening bell will give us some. We have new home sales, I think, today as well. So, maybe that'll give us some good movements today. But for now, we're just kind of boring, I think. Top 3 best hairlines in the world right now, dude. Oh yeah, look at this hairline, bro. Just, you know, in my 30s, what a great hairline this is, man, right here. Honestly, I thought I was going bald when I was young, right? I panicked. They say it comes from your mom's dad. Mom's dad bald at 25, you know. So I'm over here like, man, oh no, what am I gonna do? I need to get Propecia. Give me some Rogaine, bro. I need to get on that stuff. And luckily, my hair just, you know, I'm not going bald. My dad still has hair in the 70s, so I got my dad's hair. And my hair's exactly like my dad's, too. Same, you know. I have curly hair. My dad has curly hair, you know. Same color, everything. You know. Yeah, I think one of the best trading quotes is I don't fear the man that's practiced one type of kick 1,000 times. Or no, I don't fear the man that has practiced 1,000 different types of kicks. I fear the man that has practiced one type of kick 1,000 times, right? Bruce Lee said it, or something, some variation of it. It's been really regurgitated back for the last 5 years, but a great quote, and I think you can correlate it to trading a lot, where in trading, get really good at one thing, right? Get really good at one thing, that can make you rich in trading. You just got to get really good at one thing. And again, to be fair, most day traders lose, and so you got to have reasonable expectations for it, but yeah. My son's got a big head, dude. And honestly, I didn't even realize, like, I have a massive head. Like, my head is huge. You know, I don't fit in most hats I wear, right? And so I have a big head as well. I did not realize there was a correlation between how big your head was and intelligence, right? I thought that was just a stereotype, but when you look at actual studies, there is a correlation with how big your head is and intelligence. Like, bigger-headed people typically are more intelligent. Right, not always. Nothing is always there, but in general, you know. And again, my son, it kind of proves itself. My son took an IQ test because we were worried about, to be honest, again, I've said this before, we were worried about autism with my son when he was young, right? So when he was like 5 or 6, maybe 7, we got him tested. They did an IQ test. They tested him for autism. They tested him for ADHD. And what it came out was he didn't have autism, which was great news. I mean, good or bad, you know, it doesn't matter, but he didn't have that. He had ADHD and his IQ was almost 130, you know, when he took it at 7. So high IQ. And he's got a huge head. Like, we used to buy hats for him. I would buy hats for him from the Disney store, right? And I would buy little kid hats and I'd give it to him, and they would literally just kind of sit on his head like this, on the top of his head. I had to start letting him wear my hats because his head was so big. And so who knew, man? Top 3 biggest heads in the world right now. But top 3 smartest people ever in the world right now too, I guess. But yeah. Jack actually had a good call. Jack said that he thought Roblox would be at least 50% down in the next few years about Roblox. He really said this too, because he plays Roblox. And so a couple of years ago, when Roblox was about $80 a share, right? I asked him on stream, I said, hey man, what do you think's gonna happen to the Roblox stock? And he said he thinks that Roblox is gonna be around, but it's gonna be about half of the price in 5 years. And I said, why? And he said, because the hype for it is going down. And he was right. Now Roblox has dropped from $80 down to $37. So he was exactly right, basically. Top 3 greatest calls ever by Jack. We'll see if this support level holds. Oh, I'm definitely bragging, man. I mean, listen, if you don't brag about your kids, what are you doing in life? Yeah, we got Bowman speaking. We'll see if she influences the market. Again, look at that support level. We bounced right at that support level, too. But yeah, of course I'm going to brag about my kid, you know. Yeah, I took an IQ test when I was young. I'm not going to say what it was. It wasn't bad, though. But I'm not going to say what it was. That would be a little bit too much bragging. From the top 3 most humble trader in the world right now, I'm not going to do that to y'all and gift y'all with my IQ, you know. I just don't think it would be right, guys, you know. I'm in ARM right now. I got an ARM IPO day. It's one of the only IPO stocks that I've bought that actually I made money on. Almost every other IPO I've ever bought, I lost money on. But ARM at 63.50s right now. I'm in at 63.50s for ARM somehow. I'll take it. It might be time to sell though. I think, you know what? I'm gonna take a little bit off. I feel bad getting rid of that average, but I mean, I made so much money on it. I don't think I can justify holding it too much longer. My nephew just turned 7. It's so exciting being an uncle. Yeah, I mean, Yair, I don't want to criticize you, man, or I don't want to ban you, bro, but you just seem really negative today, man. It's like you're one of those guys that's just kind of sitting around waiting to say something negative. And so again, typically I ban people like that, but since you've been here a while, I'll let it work. But again, just too many more negative comments. I'm just gonna ban you, brother. Hope you understand. Like, it's just too negative. Like, I'm okay with disagreeing, right? Like, if you disagree with the channel, that's fine. But if you're one of those people that like just kind of sit around looking to criticize because for whatever made you emotional in the past, it's just not worth having you here. It just kind of puts a damper on the community, brother. I hope you understand. Anyways, bonds are at 46. Let me see. Where did my headphone go? There it is. Bond prices. I didn't know they were up so much, man. Like right now you can get 10-year treasury bonds for 4.6%. 4.6%. Hey, thank you, Francisco. I appreciate it. Oh, I mean, it's not even that common. It's the last 3 or 4, brother, His kid's gonna get confidence for this if he watches it later. Yeah, I mean, he's really a smart kid. Honestly, he's a pain in the butt, though, dude. He really is. Like, Jack is a very difficult kid. My daughter, super sweet when she was young. Super easygoing, like, happy. Just the sweetest kid ever, right? My son is the opposite, the complete opposite of my daughter. He is demanding. He is, like, he's stubborn is the best word to describe it. He's just freaking stubborn. I don't know, unit. I don't think so. Right now we're very neutral and flat. And the economic data already came out. The only real economic data we have now coming out is we have new home sales. No, existing home sales today. So we have existing home sales. We also have Fed members speaking. We got Williams, Bowman, both speaking today. Do we have any other data released? Let me see. Hold on. Okay, so we have U.S. leading index coming out at 10 o'clock today as well. None of these are going to be a big move in markets. So nothing's going to be crazy or anything. But tomorrow's pretty flat overall. Yeah, dude. Bro. It's kind of like... I saw a video the other day about dogs, right? And it's like you get one dog, and this happened to us, right? Like we get Rosie, like my German Shepherd Rosie. This is Rosie right here. She's the sweetest dog you could ever have. The best dog, probably the best dog we could ever have. So she's the sweetest dog you could ever have. Like all that good stuff, right? Just a great dog. Super sweet, super calm, well-trained, great dog. Again, this is Rosie right here. We get Bruce, right? So we're like, hey, let's get another dog. Like, hey, let's get another one. Like, Rosie's good. She needs a friend. She's a good dog. Let's go ahead and get another dog, right? We get Bruce, and Bruce is a crazy person, bro. Bruce is, again, some people said it's the difference between boy dogs and girl dogs, right? Girl dogs make the best dogs, they say. And I at least with my dogs, I agree. Bruce is a freaking crazy person, dude. He's so food motivated. He's so obsessive about food that he's clumsy. He runs into you. He's really sweet though. He's a great dog. It's good because Rosie has showed, for lack of a better word, kind of wimpy characteristics, right? When somebody knocks on her door, Rosie kind of runs the other way, right? Bruce gets all up on that door and says, yo, what's up? But Rosie runs the other way. But I guess the same thing can happen with kids, right? Madison, great kid. Super sweet, super easygoing, super laid back, not stubborn, listened really well, almost never had to get disciplined as a kid. My son just, the complete opposite of my daughter, just stubborn, problem starting, just difficult, you know, but really good kid, smart. He's got a good heart, you know. You always got to test your kids for, like, you don't want them to be sociopaths, right? So, like, you always got to make sure they have. The big characteristic is you got to make sure kids show empathy. Like, do they show empathy for animals and people, right? It doesn't have to be every person. It just, do they show empathy for people in general and for animals, right? If they show those two things, you're usually good. Like, they're not psychopaths, right? If they show empathy. And so, my son shows empathy, which is great. He's just stubborn, you know. Oh, they're both German Shepherds, you know. Both great dogs. None of them are really, like, bad or toxic. Bruce is just so food motivated that sometimes... Bruce is more vocal than Rosie is, too. So Bruce will speak more. He'll cry. He'll yell. He'll just be more vocal. Well, I think it has to do with, like, if you don't raise a dog well, that dog's going to be a problem when he gets old, right? They're going to be a problem if you don't raise that dog well. If you get lazy with dog parenting when they're young, those dogs are going to be problems. If you do the same thing with kids, same thing, you know? So I think you gotta put the work in when they're young. Anyways, NASDAQ's flat on the day. Very choppy from jobless claims. Just hasn't done much. Yeah, we'll see what the Fed speakers end up doing. I mean, none of the Fed speakers are that big. Bowman is probably the biggest one. Bostic speaking at 11 a.m. actually is probably the biggest one. So Atlanta Fed President Bostic speaking. Michelle Bowman speaking at 9:05 a.m. Again, I don't know how much they're going to move markets. But... again, if y'all want to see Bruce, I've showed Bruce here before. I'll show you guys again. So this is Rosie and Bruce both right here. All right, so this is Rosie and Bruce. All right, ready? Drop it. Drop it. There you go. All right, ready? Ready, Bruce? Go get it. That's Bruce right there. And that's Rosie stealing the ball from him. You know. That's Rosie with the blue ball.
Ready? Drop it.
Drop it. There you go. All right, ready? Ready, Bruce? Go get it. They both love swimming, though. So they do both love swimming. This is Bruce when he was little. And then Bruce was little in that video. So Bruce is big now. He's really big. But he's a good dog. Hey, nice, man. We're not going to stream the Fed speakers because they're not really, they're not, no offense, but they're just not important enough, you know? Yeah, that's Bruce. He's cool, man. He's a great dog. He's really a sweet, good-natured dog, right? He's never aggressive with me or my family or anything like that. Just a good dog, right? He's just got more energy than Rosie does. He requires more energy too. Like I'll play fetch with him like that, like in the pool. He never gets tired, bro. He just never gets tired. You know, Rosie will tire out within like 5 throws. Bruce just doesn't get tired. Yeah, it's a scary feeling, Pawn. Scary feeling, bro. I remember when my son was born. I was afraid to hold my son. I don't like holding babies. I'm not really like a baby or kid person unless they're my own kids. I don't like holding babies. Like, I have cousins and stuff that have had babies. And, like, they're there. I don't really want to hold them, you know? Like, I'm not really trying to hold anybody else's baby like that. I don't... They're too... Especially like an infant. I don't want to hold an infant. They're too scary. Yeah, they're too scary. No, he's a full-blooded German Shepherd. Says that, and when they speak, the market crashes. Nah, they're not gonna make the market dump. Not unless they say something really bad. They're just not important enough. Like, again, I would rather trade and stream my trading than stream, you know, kind of B-level Fed speeches. You know what I mean? Like, I would rather just day trade, you know? Market's really flat right now, though. We got 20 minutes into the open, but it's just really flat. Nothing's going on right now. Fed speakers don't always talk about what the market cares about. Yeah, for sure. Again, they might. It depends, but they're not big enough for me to really be interested in covering it like that, you know? Like, essentially, I have to, as somebody that runs a media business, right? Like, this beginner trading is essentially a media business. It's like a market media business, right? So when I cover something here, it needs to be important enough to make it, like, we need to get enough people interested in it, right? And simply, like, John Williams speaking is not going to get enough interest. Michelle Bowman speaking is not going to get enough interest. Raphael Bostic speaking is not going to get enough interest. Now, they might say things that garner people's interests, but them speaking alone isn't worth covering like that. Now, if Powell speaks, we're going to cover it. You know, if they're making an FOMC decision, we're going to cover it. If a big company reports earnings, we're going to cover it, right? But these speeches happen almost every week, and it's just not important enough. No offense. Check the FOMC website if you want to know where to stream it. You know, the easiest way to do it is check the FOMC. Again, the market's very flat right now, so we haven't been trading at all. Well, hot dogs aren't really good for you anyway, Pawn. And I love chili cheese dogs. Like, that's like one of my favorite foods ever. If they weren't bad for you, I'd eat it like every day. The problem is, like, hot dogs are in general really bad for you. They have sodium nitrate in most of them, right? Which is terrible, terrible for you, which is what they use to dye the meat red. Just not good for you at all. And so I used to eat hot dogs a lot. I stopped just because they're just not good for you, unfortunately. No, I'm not going to do that either, bruh. The 999 challenge, I saw that 9 hot dogs, 9 beers, and 9 innings. I've seen that challenge. There's no way I'm about to do that. Again, hot dogs are too bad for you. And I love hot dogs too, right? I just can't. I can't justify that. Yeah, the full-long chili cheese coney, dude, I love it too. It really is good. But again, look up sodium nitrate. It's what they put in hot dogs. It's also what they put in, like, bacon. There's a documentary on it. It's just not good for you. People were talking about Gary G resigning. AMD is down about 20% in the last month. Is it really? It is. It's down from 227. It's down to 150. So, is it time to buy the dip? Hmm. Oh, genetics certainly play a factor. Again, my dad's side, incredibly healthy. Incredibly healthy. Like, my grandma recently passed away at like 97. My grandfather lived until he was 90. Nobody on my dad's side has cancer, has had cancer or any type of health problems really like that. So basically, and luckily, I think I look a lot like my dad's. Like, I look a lot like my dad's side. I look just like my dad. I've shown pictures of this before. And, like, look, so here's my dad, right? People say I look like his twin, which I kind of do, I guess. I'm going to cut the dead rabbit out of this. This is my dad. My dad's a falconer, right? But again, this is my dad when he was a little bit older than I am now, right here. That's my dad. So again, I do look a lot like him, right? His side, very good genes, very good genes. Never had cancer. None of them have ever had cancer. They all live a long time, you know. And again, nobody on my dad's side that I can even think of has ever had cancer, right? So just very good genes on my dad's side. My mom's side, not so much. My mom's side, not so much. My wife's side, not really that good in terms of genetics, illness-wise, that is. Illness-wise, not great genetics either there. So hopefully my dad's side can kind of cancel out some of the bad genetics there for illnesses on my wife's side, and my kids are okay. But AMC about the moon? Yeah. I don't know. I think people have to understand, like, AMC, like, listen, a lot of y'all just got talked into nonsense, man. Like, be your own thinker. Like, listen, everybody at AMC right now, and again, I'm in AMC too, right? But people are just using you guys, and they're hoping you're gullible enough to just continue to listen to them. They're just using you to grow followings on social media. Like, that's what all of the AMC, big AMC social media pages are doing. They're telling you there's some super new secret conspiracy that's going to make AMC go crazy, bruh. You just got to watch and follow them for more info. Like, right, it's all total nonsense, bro. They're trying to talk you into holding a super depreciating asset, right? Apple doesn't have to make you feel all warm and fuzzy in the community of Apple holders to talk you into holding it. Like, at a certain point, and again, I'm in AMC, but I'm down so much already, I'm just kind of like, like, I'm just going to sit in it. But again, be smart, man. Like, how many conspiracy theories have you heard about AMC? I've personally read or seen at least 20 in the last year. And they're always some new thing about why AMC is going to moon sometime soon. And every single time it happens, AMC ends up dropping 20-30%. It's literally at a pre-split price for AMC. AMC is literally at a pre-split price of 29 cents. You know? AMC was never the structure to cause a big short squeeze. You know, GameStop had a low float, a super high short float. AMC doesn't have anywhere near the short float that GameStop had, and its float is 10 times larger than GameStop. It was never that big squeeze candidate that most of these guys that are pushing this are pretty new traders. They don't really understand, like, market structure in a stock. They don't really understand float and what any of it really means, and they're just kind of regurgitating back. Most of them are just using you to build a following online, right? Because if you tell people what they want to hear, if people invested their life savings in AMC and you tell them what they want to hear, which is that AMC is going to go up to 1,000, bruh, you know, they might follow you. And so just be smart. Understand when somebody's manipulating you, I guess is the point. At a certain point, I don't like to be manipulated, and you shouldn't either, and you should recognize it instead of just being so desperate to believe it that you ignore the red flags, you know? But hey, it's all love. Anyways, market's very flat, boring, sideways, not a lot's going on. We're just kind of waiting here. Yeah. Everybody shame John for being critical? Yeah, I mean, I hope it goes up. Like, I hope I'm wrong, but like, even like at a certain point, you have to recognize when you've been manipulated, you know? Like, I famously did a bet with my followers on AMC, right? GameStop helped grow my channel. We covered GameStop. I think we made money on it, but GameStop helped grow my channel. It was really funny. I've told this story before, but I was covering the GameStop short squeeze, right? And when GameStop hit 500 plus, I told people, hey, I'm selling, hey, I'm getting out, right? Like, I think it's time to get out. And I think if you're in it, you should probably take some profit too. I had thousands of people watching me. The whole stream turned on me when I said that. They started telling me I wasn't a true believer in the community and like all this different stuff, right? The whole stream turned on me. They started shaming me for it. You know what the highs were for GameStop lifetime? 520, 530, exactly where I told people I would take profit, And so again, people are so desperate for things to continue. And most of the people telling you not to sell some of these stocks are gamblers at heart, right? Like, they're the same people where they're up $5,000 at a casino. They're not going to leave, right? They're going to stay there and lose all their money and then complain about it being rigged at the end of it, right? Same people telling you not to sell these stocks when they're up big. If anything is up huge percentages, you should take profit, right? You can hold on to 25%, a quarter of the position, and make your money. But if anything is up that much, you should probably take profit. If you don't, you're going to be stuck wishing you did, usually, right? Nothing's all the time, but yeah. Yeah, dumb money. I mean, again, no offense, but it depends on how smart people were. Gold testing highs as well, up 2400s. Again, the market's so flat today, chat. There's just not much going on. It's a slow week. We don't have much economic reports this week either. So it really is kind of a boring week. We don't have much going on. We got 8 minutes left until the market opens. 8 minutes left, chat. Thank you guys for growing my channel, though, man. My channel's grown a lot. Even the quiet weeks, we're getting 7,000, 8,000 views a video. So, hey, appreciate the love, chat. Is Dubai still underwater? Looks like it's finally getting back to normal. 100%. I remember when I first got into trading, I had a couple trades that were up thousands and didn't take profit. Yeah, man. I mean, again, I cover all the AMC, GameStop, all the big streams. Most of the interest is down big for most of these companies. And again, you still got some like people who are so desperate for it to go up. Like, again, if you invested your life savings and you're down 90%, like, you know, what's another 10%? And so that's what makes people so emotional about it. It's because, again, it was really convincing. I think a lot of people fell for that persuasion with AMC, but, you know, you got to be resilient to that, you know. Again, any stock community, chat, I'm here to tell you this. I have seen so many stock communities sprout up over time. I've seen MMAT. I've seen people that push MMAT. I've seen AMC. I've seen GameStop. I've seen all these big. I've seen DRYS. I've seen SOS. I've seen CEI. Vinco Ventures, BBIG. Like, I've seen all these different stock communities that sprout up, right? And the MO is always the same thing. It's tell people what they want to hear. If you're in BBIG and somebody tells you, hey, BBIG is going to break $1,000 a share, that's a pleasant thought, right? You might be more likely to believe it because you want it to happen. If you're in CEI and they say, hey, CEI is going to go up 1,000%, You might be desperate to believe that. If you're an AMC and somebody says, hey, AMC is going to moon, bro, you're helping. You're a moral trader. You're helping, attack the elite of the elite in markets, guys. So just hold a wildly depreciating asset so you can, fight the good fight, bro. That might be a pleasant thought. You might be more likely to believe that, even though it's total nonsense, right? Like, you might be more likely to believe it. And that might make you hold these terrible, terrible companies. But any company that has a community around its stockholders like that is usually trying to talk you into holding a really, really depreciating stock. All of these stocks almost went out of business. Almost all of the ones I'm talking about. Most of them failed. And so you got to look at it objectively and be resilient to that. Stop worrying about joining stock communities and just invest in companies that you think are going to go up over time. Not what people tell you are going to go up, but look at the actual fundamentals and health. Avoid penny stocks. Avoid most mid caps with exceptions. And invest and trade blue chip companies. Like, that's what you do. Those are companies where the edge is actually on your side long term versus penny stocks where the edge is actually, the longer you hold it, the worse it's going to get, most likely. And that's a hard thing for people to accept too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna ban you for disagreeing with me. The only way I'll ever ban anybody again is if you sit around waiting to disagree. Like sometimes, like if I'm bullish long term and you're super bearish long term, and you get so emotional about that disagreement that you start just kind of sitting around waiting to insult me, you probably get banned, right? If you come out super disrespectful to me, you'll probably get banned. If you just disagree about individual stock, like, hey, I like this stock, you don't, that's fine. We get people like that every day, and that's pretty normal. The stock market, you're gonna disagree with people. All right, hey, we got 2 minutes, chat. 2 minutes. Market's still very flat. We're kind of over here BSing, just kind of chatting with you guys because there's not much to go with right now. Market's completely sideways. I don't know what to do here. All I can really do is wait for it to break out of this range, right? Like, here's the range. We're going to zoom into the shorter term range and just see if we can break out of this. If we can break out of this, maybe we'll take the appropriate trades in that direction. If we can't, then, all blue chips were once penny stocks. That is obviously not true. Who told you that? Do you really believe that, Jay? Do you really believe all blue chips were once penny stocks? Because that is not true at all. That is just propaganda from people trying to talk you into holding penny stocks. In fact, most blue chip stocks, like, here's an example. Reddit right now. Like, right. Was Reddit ever a penny stock? Of course not. It immediately IPO'd, got up to $50, $60 a share. Tesla was never a penny stock. Apple was never really a penny stock like that. Microsoft was never a penny stock. Most big companies were never penny stocks because by the time they IPO, they're already well known enough and successful enough to immediately get past penny stock territory. Right? Most of them, like, the only stocks that are really penny stocks are sketchy companies. Now some of them can rebound and eventually do well, but it's certainly not a majority of them. Most healthy blue chip companies were never ever penny stocks. We got existing home sales at 10. Hey, thanks, Tank. Yeah, well, Apple was a penny stock in the 1970s and 80s, which is a big difference now. But again, it's an outlier. Look at all the major IPOs we've had. Were any of them penny stocks? Of course not. Hey, there's the opening bell. Microsoft down a little bit, though. All right, so there's the opening bell, chat. All right, so we cracked the low of that range. Again, I think most people get involved with penny stocks because they have small accounts, and so they think they have to, right? I'm here to tell you, you could buy 1 or 2 shares of a blue chip company, have better, more consistent returns than buying 1,000 shares of a penny stock, right? Like, don't get talked into just, again, it's a sucker's bet. It's something that new, naive traders end up getting involved with. They almost always lose money and they don't understand why, right? Invest in blue chip companies. You're almost certain to make money long term. Invest in penny stocks. You're almost certain to lose money long term. And this is something that's true. The easiest way to put it, and again, we're waiting for this choppiness to stop. The easiest way to put it, follow big money. One thing big money overwhelmingly doesn't do is they don't invest in penny stocks, man. Like, the big money knows what's up. They know the probabilities. They know the logic. They know the statistics behind things. They don't really put money in penny stocks like that. There's a reason for that. Anyways, we're starting to test the bottom of this range here. It's still too early after the opening bell to do anything. So we just got to wait. We're going to put NVIDIA up with the top chart. It's dipping down to the 840s. Tesla trying to bounce up a little bit. The Q itself, though, is down. All right, so we cracked this low. We will start shorting if we need to. All right, big flush at the opening bell. I might buy this up now. It's down so much that, like, we're going to try to catch a falling knife here and see if we can. So far, we're getting punished, though, dude. That's a big dip. Lately, we've been reversing at the open, so that's kind of what we're playing with here. All right, we took half off. We'll try to add a little bit more to this. Such a bearish open, though, to be honest. Yeah, we're going to cut this. Again, we tried to catch a falling knife at the open. It didn't work. We're still green on the day, though, but man. Big turnaround. Let's see if everything starts to reverse. We're still in this choppy range here, though. Still got a little cushion on the day that we could play with here. Getting some consolidation now here, chat. Some. Let's see if NVIDIA rides up. Bounces. Definitely some red action to start the day. So we got a little bit of a bounce up here, a little bit of a bounce. See if we continue. The S&P's actually down a lot. Definitely had a red open. Tesla breaking down under these levels. Q's trying to bounce back. It still needs some time, though. We're at the bottom of the range here. Watching Microsoft. I hear my wife banging at the door for my dogs. All right, so we got a breakdown, a flush here. We're going to wait to see if we get a rebound or back up or something good happening. TSM, so Taiwan Semiconductors, is back up though. Definitely a big red open. Gonna wait. Again, it's just a little bit too choppy. We're gonna wait for the opening to play out first. Bitcoin halving. Yeah, Bitcoin halving is on Saturday. So again, we might look at gold here. I see gold is down some, and gold is extended a lot here, chat. Gold is extended a lot. So what's the gold symbol again? Is it GC? Let me see. I thought it was GC. Is it something different? Okay. I don't know. Let me see. Is there micro gold? Yeah. Okay, so here's the micro gold futures contract. I'm going to short this a little bit here. We're going to try to trade micro gold. And we're getting punished here. All right, so there's 5 contracts. All right, we took half off of there, a little bit more. We got a nice little drop, covering. Get out the rest there. All right, so grinding that up. We also have existing home sales today, so we do have some data coming out today, right? Now, it's not really going to be a big influence over markets. It's just not. So it's not really going to be like some massive influence. So here's gold. See, the NASDAQ is so red here now, chat. Gold is chopping back and forth. I'm going to put back up the NASDAQ, I think. So, yeah, let me put up the NASDAQ. Do I want to trade? I'm going to trade the micro NASDAQ. Which is just down big. I'm wondering, should I try to catch a falling knife, though? I guess is the question. I don't know. All right, we're going to buy a dip. Micro NASDAQ. 1 contract. Very red open here. So I don't know if is Bowman speaking. Let me see. All right, so sanctions on Iran. Fed Williams says that data dependent. The data has been very good. Economy is strong. So yeah, Williams speaking. We're gonna add to this position. All right, there we go. Catching the bounce. We'll go ahead and cover it. And remember, chat, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I might be wildly wrong. Entertainment purposes only. We do take trades off stream, and I do not want you to copy me. Hypothetical or simulated performance results have certain limitations. Understand CFTC 4.41. And if you want to day trade with me, chat, you can check out Apex as a funded account program. What they do is they give you a demo and it limits your risk. And to be fair, I think if you're going to lose money here, you're probably going to lose more money putting the money up yourself, right? So what they do is they give you a demo, they test your skill. If you can make money with the demo account, if you can hit their profit target without hitting their max loss, And following their rules and conditions, they fund you between 25 to 300,000 with a 90% split, and they pay out millions every year. They pay out millions every month to their funded traders. They fund thousands of traders a month. Last month they paid out $25 million, and they paid out over 100 mil total. And so a great way to help support the channel is by checking out Apex. Again, it's a way to limit your risk as you're learning how to day trade. And again, I'm not even claiming to be a profitable trader or a good trader. This is just a great way to learn how to day trade. Most day traders lose. And in futures, you can day trade the S&P, the NASDAQ, basically the SPY and Q, and there's no PDT rule in those. You can day trade short, buy market, sell market, all that good stuff. No PDT rule in futures. And so it's a great way to limit your risk. If you pass it, though, you get a 90% split once you're funded, and there's no PDT rule. Great way to learn how to day trade. You can check them out right here. They are a sponsor of mine. Again, I'm biased. They pay me money, but you can check it out right there. Great way to help support the channel. And chat, we're just kind of sitting tight waiting here. We're finally starting to get some bounce backs here after a big red open. Big red open. Tesla 148. Where's Tesla? So yeah, Tesla breaking down. It's been bouncing back. Nvidia's bouncing up a little bit too here. So Nvidia's trying to get back up there. You know, a lot of them are trying to bounce back, but they still got it. We got to give them time. Where's AMD at? AMD rip. I mean, AMD's kind of flat on the day though. TSM broke lows. So TSM went all the way back down and broke lows. Let's see if the market keeps looking red. We had this little bounce back. You know, I'm almost funded in this other combine that I'm checking the stats on right now. We're gonna look at that one. Because I think we might have some extension here. Alright. Alright, so yeah, on this funded account, we're going to try to get funded here live if we can. On this funded account, we are up about $1,700. We need to make another $1,300. We got a lot of up wicks here. I think I'm going to short this. Oh no, this is micros. I need to trade regular. Oh crap, I still have the micro contract up. I need to take it off. Here, look, it's fine. It's fine. We'll have to get out of this on the other screen. Now, this is going to move a lot quicker, and again, if we lose it, it's not the end of the world, right? You got to take risks when you're trying to get funded here on these funded accounts. So again, if we lose it, it's not the end of the world. Let's see if we can get funded live on stream, though. There's 3 contracts. We're going to short into this. See if we can just retrace the bottom of this range. Like, bet on future more weakness here. There we go. So we got some. We need a larger breakdown. There we go. All right, we're going to take a little bit off there. Lock it in. Maybe add some more to this. All right, we got 2 contracts left. Again, we'll see if we add more at the top. We can add up to 10 here, so we're going to take one more big risk, and if we lose the account, it's okay, right? This is where we switch to a funded account. Or we switch to a challenge account, right? So we can try to get funded on another account pretty quickly here. Oof, big rip up. Again, we're going to add full size here, and if we lose, again, we're only out like a couple bucks. All right, so there's full size. Let's see if we get it. I'm going to take off a little bit more here and just protect the trade. Lock it in. There we go. We're up pretty big in this. Let's take a little bit more off there at the top. All right, got one contract left. We're going to go ahead and lock that in. All right, so we are up to 2130s here, 2130. So we need about 900 bucks. We got a lot of upwicks, so I'm going to scale in some more size. 3 contracts here. Keep it small. We'll try to add in on a bounce. Again, I'm kind of betting on continued weakness, like a retest at the bottom here. And we've got a cushion, so we're okay. There's 7 contracts. All right, we tried to cut it in time. I'm not sure if we did or not. We still got 5. Big rip. There's 7. We can add another 3. So there's 3. All right, we took a piece off. Took another piece. 3 contracts left. We could be a little bit more loose with this now. Maybe add some more to it too. See, we didn't quite get it. We got a big bounce up instead. Might have to cut this one. Yeah, I'm gonna get out there. Oh crap, I just took 2 contracts long. Alright, well wait, that works. Alright, so we're still up about 1800. We'll start to look. So look at Nvidia climb all the way back up to green on the day. All the way back up to green. So we might have to pivot our direction here now. Again, if you want to see my graph. Big retracement. The problem is Nvidia's about to hit this previous closing price. So I'm not really super bearish there. Again, Nvidia has fallen all the way back up. The Q's almost flat on the day now after a really red open. Problem is we're hitting the VWAP here, so all right, we'll play with it, but 2 contracts here is what we're going to start off. I don't want to retrace this candle wick though, which happens a lot, right? There we go. We took half off of it. We got 1 contract at the regular. You see how fast these moves versus the micros that I normally trade. We're going to add to this losing position here. Here we go. Take another piece off. Lock that in. Two contracts here. We'll try to add to this now, but it's a risky endeavor for sure. Yeah, we just got to hope we hit and we reverse quickly here before we lose this one. Now, if this reverses, we get funded. If not, we lose. It's a fun little game that we can play for freaking, it's like 40 bucks. But if we pass it, we get 50K in funding. No, don't go up. Come back down. So I see it. Nvidia did bounce right at that previous closing price. That was what I was worried about. So maybe I should have been a little more patient with this. But again, if you're trying to get funded, you're going to usually have to reset at least a couple times. We're back closer to flat on the position here. There we go. Flush. Looks like my entry is holding support. No, it looks like I'm done on this one. Yep. Ah, man, we were so close. We got up to $2,200 in profit on it. But it's all right. We can have fun with it. Again, if you want to have fun with me too on these funded account programs, you can check out the link. And yeah, again, it happens. Like, listen, you're gonna have to reset some funded accounts, or not some funded accounts, some of the challenge accounts. You're gonna have to reset. Again, if you wanna have fun with me, you can check out the link right there. We'll see if Friday gives us some better action, chat, today. Let me see. We either go back to our regular scheduled programming, or we'll, Yeah, so the reason I'm looking at a lot of these challenge accounts is because I do have a couple that I just don't even use. Here's another one. We'll try to play with this one. All right, so we got one contract. This is a larger one I think we have to make. Okay, yeah. This one's an even larger one. And again, we're just kind of paying for these and not using them. So we can play with them. All right, let's build up the cushion. I took most of that profit on this one. Short into this. Try to get some size. There's 4 contracts here. There's 6 contracts total. Again, we're going to get into some size with this one, though, because this one we even have larger size that we can take. Sorry, again, I'm sitting on these monthly subscriptions, and so I don't want to waste these. You know what I mean? There we go. We need kind of a larger move. Almost took some profit. There we go. All right, we'll take some off there. We just took 5 contracts off just to protect it. Depends on what you think NVIDIA is going to do up here, though. There we go. All right, we took another 5 off here. We got 2 contracts left. We'll cut that. All right, so again, we're a third of the way there. If we get a little bounce back, we'll short right back into it. All right, there's 5. Try to use 3 contract increments. There we go. I'm gonna short back into it. Short back into it. There's 11. I don't know how many I can take. I might be able to take 20. All right, so we're trying to use. No, I can't take 20. Maybe 15. All right, taking some more profit. Taking some more. 3 contracts left. Takes a little bit more. Probably add to this one now. I still think it's weak right here. Yeah. There we go. Take a little bit more. I'm gonna keep trying to add on this little bounce. I think there's a bearish longer term pattern. Here we go. Oh man, now I'm chopping back and forth. Long. We'll sell that. All right, so we're over 3K in profit here. I think we got to make 6K in this one now. So we're halfway there, Chad. We're halfway there. All right, so we're 50% of the way there, chat. Can we hit the 50% today? Again, we get a little bounce. What I'm going to look for is like a little bounce to this spot. If we get a bounce there, we'll short. If not, we're just going to have to wait. We're still in that range. So if you want to see the account growth today here, we're up over 50%. Also, shout out to Chart Prime, trading view service you can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. You can see I set alerts, but again, look at the strong signals here and look how powerful these are, man. Again, back test it yourself. They're a sponsor. I can't guarantee you're going to make money with them. Nobody can. Again, I'm biased because they pay me money, and the signals are certainly not going to work every time. But again, let's back test it. Strong buy signal, beautiful bounce. This is a 5-minute chart too, so this is hours of bounces. Strong sell signal there. Beautiful breakdown afterwards. Buy signal there. Beautiful rip up. This one, you got a little follow through, it looks like. But again, even if you consider this one wrong, let's consider this one wrong for argument purposes. Strong buy signal, beautiful bounce. Sell signal, beautiful drop. Buy signal, nice little bounce. Sell signal literally called this big breakdown that we got at the opening bell. And so I only see one of these that didn't work. Again, I can't guarantee that though. Test it yourself. But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 out of 8 I'm showing that didn't work. So again, percentage-wise, it's pretty good. Even if you consider this one didn't work, that's 2 out of 8. That's 75% accuracy. It's still pretty solid. And again, this is just a piece of what they offer: back testers, oscillators, screeners, custom trading view indicators, and you can use them on anything on trading view. Anything with a symbol on trading view, you can use it on. It's called Chart Prime. You can get 40% off. Get it for like $40. One good trade can pay for it. If you use my link, you can put it up here. Check it out. And yeah, again, they're a sponsor. I'm biased for sure. Oh, we got the bounce up that I wanted here, chat. We did get the bounce up that I wanted. All right, we got 10 contracts here. Again, we're trading a little large today. That's all right. All right, we're gonna go and take some profits since we're up. And we'll probably add right back to it too here since it's retracing. How many can I get here? I thought I could get 15. Let's see, 12, 14. I guess I can get 14 total contracts here. Yeah, 14 total. All right. We should have a larger cushion here though that we can use, but let me see. Let me look this up. Again, I've been sitting on these accounts for a while, so I'm not even using them. I'm trying to see what I can use with them. Okay. Yeah, we got room. Want to just break down a little bit more? There we go. There we go. There we go. All right. All right, we need $2,000. We need to make $2,000. See, we were looking for this exact thing. Look at where we look. I want you guys to understand something. People can say whatever they want about my trading, right? We drew this resistance level. We said we're looking for a bounce back to there, specifically for a short. We looked at it. Look at exactly where we went. We literally went to a T right up to that level here. Now, regardless of whether I lose this account or not moving forward, we went up exactly to that spot. Exactly to that spot. I'm going to try to be patient, but again, we got to take another swing here. We're 2/3 of the way there. Personally, I'm looking for a flush, but if we get choppy action, it can kind of bite me. Here, we'll see if it... Again, we're just having fun with it. If we lose this account, we lose the account. Like, it's not... Again, this is like a $40 account. So if I pass it, I get 100K in funding though. Or no, it's a little bit more than 40 bucks, but still. There we go. All right, one more. Yeah, we'll cut the rest break even. All right, so we're 2,500 away. Here's the graph on this one on the day here, chat. So not bad. I have to go though. I really do have to run. I have to go somewhere. Oh, we got existing home sales. We'll cover that real quick in 30 seconds. No, I don't day trade full time. I certainly don't live off of my trading profits or anything like that. I'm mostly just cover economic reports and data here. Not even claiming to be a good trader, you know. $4.2 million is what's expected for existing home sales. 4.2 million. We'll see if it moves markets in about 10 seconds, though. All right, so there's the report. The data showed up at 4.19 million, basically flat. So it could have been worse. Yeah, we're looking at the E-mini 2 here. Kind of choppy back and forth here, to be honest. Is that you, Rosie? My baby. Hey, baby. What you doing? That's a good girl. You just a good girl. Rosie's the best dog ever, man. So yeah, we're watching the S&P 500, which is very similar to this here. It's very, very similar. I do like this song. This song's good. All right, so we're watching the NASDAQ here, chat. All right, we got funded here, chat. So we did get funded. Sorry, I wanted to trade off stream. Again, sometimes trading on stream can be emotional. We did get funded in a $100,000 challenge account. So we did just get funded today. I wanted to get funded at least once live on stream. We did get funded. The balance is now up to 106,000. Our profit target was 106. We hit 106. You love to see it. We did it. We got funded. We hit 106,000. We're going to activate it today. Again, if you want to check it out, get funded with me. I am now going to get a $100,000 funded account with a 90% split. It's going to be really fun to trade. Again, I wanted to trade it today. Mostly shorting. We shorted this big bear flag is what we shorted into. Scalped a lot of it. Used a risk management system. If you want to see my balance growth, this is my chart. We did make... we got funded in about a day here. This is the first day we really tried it, but I think we might have traded on this account once before, but it was basically flat. When I started today, it was at basically neutral. We ended up making $6,000 with the $6,000 profit target. And so, yeah, not too bad, chat. Not too bad. Again, if you want to check them out, I'll put the link up. They're a sponsor. I'm biased. They pay me money, so of course I'm biased. But again, if you want to check them out, use promo code BT. We'll get you the max discount. I'll let you guys know how that 100K funded account looks today. There's the link. Love you all. Y'all be good. I'll see you guys later.